Right. So, shalom, shalom again. Sorry about the whole technical hitches, but we are back live in Khaled. And I would that we will get to know everyone. Okay, I would that we'll get to know everybody that is here, all right, on set with us. So, of course, I would introduce the papacy, you know, you understand what I'm saying? Yes. But for now, I would want that from my far right, they would introduce themselves and then we would move on onto things to discuss. Yes, please. So my far right, the beautiful lady will introduce herself to us. Yes, please. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lady Naomi.
All right. So Lady Naomi.
And I'm saying Kata.
Yeah. You know who I am. And to my far left, yes, please.
I'm Lady Hora.
Right. And then Pastor Mike, and of course, the papacy himself. Yeah. So Pastor Benjamin is also here with us, right? And it's going to be an exciting time. I just want you to stay tuned and be ready. And of course, we want to make sure, we've provided the avenues for you to be asking your questions, and you need to ask your questions. We need your questions, all right? So, yeah. So I think the place that you would ask your question will be sent on the stream, I think. Yes. So the people will do that. Yeah. So the media team will do that, of course, for us. So yeah, we are going to move on. Okay. And purpose of gathering. Interesting. So this is Pastor and I having a conversation, and then we started thinking about something that, we've been pastoring for years, isn't it? And some of you just started, but we've been here ever since. He has been there way before me, of course. But we realized that, and Pastor Mike too, realized that the generations that we've been handling over the years, it looks like it changes over time. All right, we've basically maybe handled like 2 generations. He might have handled with Pastor Mike maybe 2, 3, 4 generations. And we realized that there seemed to be this difference when it comes to quality and type of membership. And so we decided that, let's even talk about this whole thing about generations, okay? But I want to read something to you. So, very, very interesting. So, maybe if you did not know, today you will know. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes. So, it is said that if you were born 1965 to 1980, you're part of Gen X. Those are people I'm older than, you understand? Yes. And if you are from 1981 to 1996, you are part of the millennials. They also say that Gen Y, okay? And then if you are part of 97 to 2012, you're part of Gen Z. So then the question is, you who come after 2012, it's a big issue. Like, who are you?
Sunday school.
But hey, they have names for all that. But I just wanted to show you that interesting fact here, that it looks like every generation is named. And so we want to talk about especially the Gen Zs, okay? We will talk about all the other class of people or groups of people, generations also. But for today, we really would focus on the Gen Zs. And it looks like we have some of them even here, all right? And in body, not in spirit, all right? Like, just in body, yeah. So we also want to hear from them. And I would for Pastor to say something briefly before we continue, all right? Of course, you understand. So he has to talk to us. So we'll want to hear him briefly. He'll say something to us, and then we will shoot onto several other things. Pastor, please.
All right. So, Bishop, thank you for the opportunity, because you are the anchor for the chat. And you see, I basically am not here to wow anybody with revelations. I'm only here to learn, like Bishop said. We chance on having a conversation, and we've been around. I should say, as far as the things of God is concerned, if my memory sets me right, have been actively involved in the work of God from the age 7. From the age 7. So it's more than 3 decades. That is 30 years now. I mean, and I have seen a lot of dynamisms in terms of how people are. I mean, we can talk about Gen Zs, as Bishop said, in general, but I think we want to limit our narrative to the church, all right, the church. So I've seen a lot, and I should say that I'm curious to know. My interaction with, as Bishop said, the Gen Zs, people born in between 1997 and 2012. I mean, they are very strange to me. So I'm only here to learn. But in as much as I'm here to learn and ask questions, I would want to lay a foundation, as Bishop said. So they have names for generations within a certain time bracket, okay? And I am much interested in the term name, because that then keys in a certain divine principle. So you read the book of Genesis, and then you discover that the Bible says that, and God brought everything to Adam to see how Adam would name them. So name, therefore, gives definition. So that means people are who they are because of the kind of names that are given to them. All right. So a generation will act in a certain manner or behave in a certain manner because of the kind of name that is placed on them. Are we getting it now? Are we getting it? So I'm thinking by default, if we are to talk about Gen Zs, then we are dealing with the kind of label. All right. So if not for the label, people will not act the way they act. So it is the labeling that is making people act the way they act. So the big question I'm here to ask is, if upon or at the end of our discussion, do we accept the label, that is if it is negative, the way it has been given to the Gen Z? So Bishop, over to you. I have plenty of questions to ask.
I would want to read something shortly. So if you do not know, we have a Gen Z Bible, and and I would want to read Matthew chapter 18. And you don't know where it is, so don't worry. Just very, very, very interesting what I want us to read. Okay, so so I want to start from verse 1. So the disciples roll up to Jesus like, yo, what is the top dog in heaven? So Jesus was like, yo, come here, kiddo. and he like puts the kid right in the middle of the crew. And he was like, for real though, listen up. Unless you change your whole vibe and start being all innocent and pure like little kids, forget about making it into heaven, all right? 4. So, like anyone who, gets all humble like a little kid, well, they are like totally the top dog in heaven. 5. Yo, if you welcome a little kid in my name, you are totally welcoming me. Just saying. 6. But anyone who hurts one of these younger believers in me would be better off having a big weight tied around their neck and getting tossed into the deepest part of the ocean. 7. Dang, the world is in trouble because all these messed up things happening, like, it's bound to happen. But seriously, that person who causes the trouble is in so much major trouble themselves. And hey, I want to just go down to a very important verse here. Verse, coming. And it's interesting how there is already a Bible that has all the Gen Z stuff inside. And I want us to see something shortly. I'm coming. Okay. So, the verse 20, why we are here, okay, is just like, if there is like a small crew of 2 or 3 people vibing in my name, I'm totally there with them, you know, that's a very important verse. All of us here, a small crew, all right, of 2, 3 people, of course we are more than 2, 3. He's totally in our midst because we are vibing with him. So I want you to understand that we are here to vibe with the Lord. Hallelujah. All right. So people, I would want us to talk about this group of people, Gen Zs. I would that any one of us here who would want to say something about the group of people we call the Gen Zs. What do you have realized? If you are part of them, to please tell us you are part of them. There's nothing wrong with that. We won't kill you. We just want to know what you understand about the group of people called the Gen Zs. Of course, right now we know the age gap that makes you part of them. If you are part of them, please, remember, we are vibing with you. Yeah. So we want to know what any one of you think about this, what you've realized about the group of people, what makes them different from other generations, whatever you've realized. Yes, please, anyone. Whatever you've realized. It could be a thing or two, any. Sekata. Talk to us.
Okay, I think one thing I've really noticed about Gen Zs, this is when the name was becoming very popular, is that, I don't know if it's with every Gen Z, because you find Gen Zs that are in their zone, but one thing that really came out was the fact that they love to say their mind. Because it's now we really find Gen Zs telling their parents, if you hit me, I'm calling the police.
Okay.
That's the new USA though. But the point is, they say their minds, and this is what really, I think this is what spread out the Gen Z name, because looking online, they said that the Gen Z came out because it was popular on the internet. And the popularity on the internet was because people were trying to be like, I am for this. You people, you are for what you are for. I'm about myself, you're about yourself. You did this, let me also do mine. So it's like we are fighting for our freedom. So, we are the Gen Z. It's not like the other generations were not there. But the fact that we wanted to be ourselves, we had to put it out there that, see, we are the Generation Z. We are the Zoomers. You people, they were there. So.
Okay, I get it. So, Sekata is saying, what happened with this whole segregation is because the group, 97 to 2012, of course, that's the period we know that internet became like a big thing. So they wanted to separate themselves from just everybody else. And so the whole titling started because these group of people just wanted to be known for something, that is so totally different from everybody else or all the other generations. And like Sekata is saying, that he's realized that for the group, they like to flow their minds. They like to actually speak what's on your heart, not thinking about the consequences of it, not caring about whatsoever that they would face for it, because they feel like nobody wants to hear them, because maybe they feel like they are too young, or they feel like they don't have too much experience or any technical know-how in how to even live life. But these people believe that their generations are different from their previous generations, or their generations from their previous generations, so they ought to be heard. And I don't know, Pastor, if you want to say anything about this.
Well, like I said, I'm here to learn. So I think we should do it this way.
Okay.
Bishop is trying to take himself out of Gen Z's, which
I'm not bad.
Which is not part. It's good. So it's a fair panel, because I'm not part. Pastor Mike too is not part. So let's do it this way. We are going to talk about what we've observed, because I think what we get concerned about concerning Gen Zs, you are not concerned about it, because it's your world. All right, it's your world. So for it to become more interactive, let's talk about the kind of friction, all right, that we sort of realizing between the Gen Zs and then the others.
So that's what I was trying to ask that. What do you also think about
So,
this?
so
Yes,
I want to pass
yeah.
the baton on to Pastor Mike to talk about what is.
Thank you for having me. You see, before I'm an IT guy, so
Okay.
I'm going to base my concept in the IT world. Before we used to use email. There are emails,
Yeah.
right? Before the chatting, WhatsApp
System
comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we still use email.
Yes.
Because you cannot give a company your WhatsApp number to send you your any information. So the two actually work together in hands. So you cannot say you belong to a Gen Z kind of world and then not have a mindset about the world that has been before. But don't forget that we are the kingdom people. So let's be whatever we are talking about the kingdom. Yeah. You see, the wisdom of the old is better than the wisdom of now.
Yeah, I understand you.
Because most of the Gen Z that you will see now, oh Lord my God, their brain, fish brain. How? Fish brain is better, stronger than
Yeah, so that is a kind of fake. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So just flow
It's a lot.
as how you
that
feel.
you are a Gen Z
Okay.
does not mean that you should neglect, like say if you are Gen Z, then you know I don't want to have anything to do with Pastor Ben. I'm in my world. I want to have a Gen Z pastor. I want to have a Gen Z
Bible.
parents. I want to have a Gen Z food. I want to have a Gen Z everything. No, you cannot create that world.
Okay, I get you.
You can't create that world.
Get you.
So in the kingdom of God, we must base whatever kind of generation we want to be in the concept of morals. You get it? In the concept of moral, there are respect, there are wisdom, there are understanding. There are things you must know, there are things you must say, there are things you must not say. There are clothes you must wear, there are clothes you must not wear. There are ways you must speak, there are ways you must not speak. So when we have all these ideas like, oh, this is what it's just about what do you want to be. So it's not about I'm Gen Z, I'm Gen X, me, I'm Gen Y. No, it's what do you want to be? When people see you, what do you want them to say?
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter when my parents say sit, I said, why would you want me to sit? How dare you? I'll call the police now. I don't know. No.
Pastor Mike, on that note, let me also come in this way. Then I will ask you a question.
All right, sir.
Then we can ask them questions. So, me, I'm representing the people who are not Gen Zs. Bishop is the headmaster for those who are not Gen Zs. So, you see, we cannot depart away from the fact that with changes in time,
Yeah,
it comes along with changes in people.
that's right.
We cannot depart away from that fact. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because society is dynamic, culture is dynamic.
That's right.
And for that matter, you have generational dynamism. So I think that we must be looking at, as children of God, all these changes that are going on in the world, all right? Be it social changes, be it economic changes, even as much as genetical modifications that are taking place. How do we, as children of God, all right, live in such a world that we will still be able to preserve the ancient truth that was once handled, like Paul would say to Titus. He said that the faith that was once given unto us, do everything to keep. So we will not be able to fault anybody for the changes that are taking place in the world. But then our discussion must be on how do we as children of God conduct ourselves. Now let me give you an instance. I can go on and theologically, all right, argue that Gen Z is not an age bracket. But Gen Z is actually a thinking bracket. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I can tell you that if I define Gen Z in that manner, then at a point, Adam and Eve became Gen Z. Okay, let me take it this way. So you realize that the way God created Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 2, the Bible says that, and they were naked, and they were not ashamed. He said both man and woman, they were not ashamed. So this is talking about how Adam and Eve, the word should be social appraiser, how they saw themselves, how they saw society. God created them in such a state of conscience, so much so that their relationship with society was just the way God wanted to be, a state of innocence, no condemnation, no blame game, no pointing on finger. But right in Genesis chapter 3, we saw Adam and Eve became Gen Z. So in that shift of thinking, okay, in that shift of perspective, then we can say that Gen Z is not about age. It is then about thinking. Because trust me, in this same Gen Z as we are talking about, I have met very young people, fantastic people, I mean, in my fellowship and especially in TKU, who don't think Gen Z at all. I mean, you wonder, is it a grandfather I'm dealing with, or their thinking is so matured?
That's right.
Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. So, for example, how do I migrate from Adam, who was not Gen Z, to Adam, who became Gen Z? So, right from Genesis, you saw that Eve and then Adam did what God said they should not do. So, what was it? Curiosity. Now, this Gen Z, as we say, they are very curious. And curiosity of Gen Zs is always to explore what we say they should not what? Explore. True of us.
True.
For instance, let me come to the issue of relationship. Let me come to the issue of something like sex. Let me come to the issue of something like fornication. If you read the narrative of the Bible, especially from Genesis coming, all right, something like fornication, the sin of it has nothing to do with human beings in terms of whether society calls it wrong or right. The sin of it has everything to do with genetic composition. The sin of wrong sex, it has nothing to do with, Bible says, no, there was no Bible there. So what was the Bible going to even say in the first place? So the sin of it has everything to do with genetic composition, by biology, how God has made it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. By biology, how God has made it, having sexual intercourse with somebody that you are not supposed to have sexual intercourse with, okay, simply, even in the way you are not supposed to have it, has consequences that affect your body. That's number one. So the biological consequences. Number two, there are consequences that affect how other spirit beings that are not supposed to enter into the earth realm, through that interaction done in a wrongful way, can introduce other beings. I'm talking about it opens portal for other alien beings that originally are not supposed to be on earth to come into the earth realm. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So, for instance, if God said that we should not do it, then we simply are talking about the fact that Adam and Eve did it because they became curious. So now it's the same thing with the Gen Zs. Curiosity. For example, you are a 20-year-old boy. You are feeding on your mother's pocket money or money. You are feeding on your father's money. You are in school. You want to also date a girl who is also so. Now you, the girl, you say the guy is your boyfriend. So who is now providing for who? So the reason why you are in school and you are still 20 years old, you still want to keep a girl. And the funny thing is that you don't even do hit and run. You want to keep the girl inside your hostel and be there 24/7 with the girl inside your hostel. The only thing here is it is curiosity that led you there. So the Gen Zs, we come to their thinking, which is curiosity. They just want to explore everything, and without thinking about the consequences. Number two, irresponsibility. Okay, Adam, you ate it. You ate or you didn't eat? You ate it. If you ate or you didn't eat, you ate it. So it's simple. If you all ate, everybody own up that we all ate. But simply, so you see, Adam is not Gen Z, but in terms of thinking, he became Gen Z. And it is not me. It is this girl. It is this girl you gave me. It's the same thing we see from me, my interaction with Gen Z. They never accept responsibility for anything they've done. And it's not my fault. You see, Pastor, it's my mother. If my father was there for us a little bit, sometimes they go further and say that, where is God when my grandmother died? So the question also is that, where was God when they gave birth to your grandmother? Our bishop, don't you understand what I'm trying to say? And when was sin? And God took my grandmother away. So there is no God. But have you thought about, did your grandmother come to the world by herself? So whoever brought her is the same person who have called her. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yes. So Adam to me became Gen Z, blame game. Then if also say, it's not me, it's the devil. And it's the same thing with the Gen Zs today. Nobody wants to accept what? Responsibility for anything. So for me, my interaction with the Gen Z, and then also the issue of social media, because we are trying to define Gen Zs as a result of the internet. Is that also? Yes. Like the internet becoming something that has taken over. So the Gen Zs are social media people. Is that also? All right. So this question, I'm going to pose it to the Gen Z so that you tell us. For example, there is a way that God spoke to Adam, and I did my research recently. And upon my research, I saw something that social media did not start now. Social media did not start now. Social media is simply talking about how you handle information. In other words, there should be two extremes, in my opinion. Secret media and social media. So there were things that God wanted it to be just between Adam and Eve. Just between Adam and Eve. Look at Gen Zs today. You can't even do something secret anymore. Everything that is not supposed to be secret is now secret. For example, Bishop, you are going to get married. That's why I don't even understand it. I am marrying you. For cry loud sake, the breast is my own. I paid bride price for the breast and everything. How on earth do you showcase something that is mine on the wedding day? In terms of the gown you wear. I don't know if you understand. So some things that are not supposed to be social among the Gen Zs has become social. Because it just doesn't add up. So I want to understand. That's what the question I keep asking Bishop. What led to this? What has brought us here in the case of Gen Z? So now listen to my point again. I am telling you that, Bishop, it has everything to do with thinking. For example, if you like now, go and read your Bible. And you will see something in Genesis chapter 3 that will shock you. When the devil came, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to go to all Gen Zs and how we handle social media. Me, I'm talking about the negative side of everything. Then we welcome. Bishop A, the devil came and he asked you a question. Okay, now let me ask my dear sister there, my dear sister here. Please, what is your name?
Lady Naomi.
Sorry?
Naomi.
Lady Naomi. Lady Naomi, have you eaten?
No, please.
You have not eaten?
No, please.
Okay. Okay, let's ask. Lady Hora, have you eaten?
No, I haven't.
Oh, let's assume you have eaten. Okay, so what question did I ask Lady Hora? Have you eaten? Have you eaten? That is just how God is. Whatever question you ask, that is the answer you receive. But this is the Gen Zs. Have you eaten? Yes, oh, Pastor, if I tell you the kind of pizza that I've eaten, oh my God, the pepper in it, so yummy, and the Coke. But did I ask you to give me descriptions of all these things? So if you read Genesis chapter 3, you discover that it was a simple question Satan asked Eve. Did God say you should not eat of any fruit? He didn't mention any, he didn't make mention of it. Did God say you should not eat the fruit in the garden? Did God say you should not eat the fruit? No. God didn't say we shouldn't eat. God said we can eat of every fruit. But you see, there's one particular fruit that God said we should not eat. The fruit in the middle of the garden there, she started narrating. It's the same thing with social media.
God.
So I'm telling you that woman with all that her face looking like 50 years old woman, that's evil, became Gen Z in her thinking. Look at the amount of sensitive information about ourselves that we put out there. You are having an interaction with somebody on WhatsApp. You are screenshotting the information that you are having with the person. And you are saving it. And some even go beyond saving to display it on their status. So there is one thing I have seen with these Gen Zs that to me, I think it kills faster in this generation. Loneliness.
Yes.
Who do you think who wants to stay in your circle when you don't know how to handle information? So now that you are that negative, the energies around you are so repelling and appalling. In fact, your behavior is becoming more or less like somebody who have graduated from the school of witchcraft. Excuse my language. Because Bible says that rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. Somebody trusts you with his emotions. Somebody trusts you with his integrity. Knowing very well that even in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2, God said it is not good for the man to be alone. So nobody was ever created to be idle. Everybody needs somebody. Then somebody trusts you with sensitive information. And you decide that because of the so-called social media that is characterizing the Gen Z, which is can be used negatively or positively. Am I correct here? Because as for technology, it's good. The Gen Zs are tech what do you call it? Tech savvy, eh? All right. Which is positive. I think we should use it to promote more of God, promote more of our dreams and our vision. But here we are giving sensitive information out there. So, Bishop, the critical thing I want to know as the headmaster of the Gen Z Academy, what brought us here? Let me finalize it again about the thing of the Gen Zs. It is our impunity and gross disregard for sexual purity. I want to say it again. Impunity and gross disregard for sexual purity. I was studying a bit about Gen Zs and I wanted to know why marriages aren't possibly going to work among the Gen Zs. So, in my opinion, and I'm going to take it from the angle of women, all right? Because upon my study of the scriptures, and you can refer to it yourself in the book of 2 Timothy there, it talks about the fact that the man was not deceived. It's in Timothy. I mean, the man was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in error. And I discovered an amazing thing. And trust me, there was a time tears were rolling down my eyes. Because I remember when we were in campus ministry, and it was just something else. But these days, campus ministry and Gen Zs, oh man, oh man, oh man. So I was asking God, and God brought Bishop, and I said, Bishop, I want to know. So I'm saying me all the things on my heart. When I finish, I will leave it for you to do. Then what I began to pick up is that Adam was not Gen Z, but Adam and Eve became Gen Z in their thinking. Starting with Eve, for which we can trace any marriage that is not working from that their grandmother. Number one, the thinking of independence. The thinking of independence. Yes, the thinking of independence. So, I have seen nothing but the radicalization of women by the devil. So, things that are meant to be achievement for men, women have entered into that contest and trying to rub shoulders with men. And it was the same thing with Eve. Independence. Because the question here is that where was Adam when the devil was talking? Because if Adam was standing there, per advantage, or what do you call it? Perhaps Adam could have stopped Eve from eating the fruit, but independence. And I'm sure, Bishop, when I finish, I'll finish you, then you'll be giving us why we have come to where we are. Okay. The Gen Zs want to be very independent. So independent now crap is becoming so serious that people don't even want four in the room. Like where we were in the I want four in the room. Even UCC students want their own apartment. They want to. Girls in UCC want to rent their own apartment. They just want, like, they can get 3-bedroom for themselves alone. That is how independent a lot of ladies in Gen Z girls or ladies have become. Now, that independency, by my observation, has led to what we call competitiveness in the circle of marriage. Competitiveness. So, what the man is meant to do in terms of social status, in terms of economic status or financial status, even is becoming so serious, and it may sound funny, in terms of even, I don't know, I was telling somebody that, and I thought maybe it was my mind, so I asked some few people, and I realized it is true. The tone of the voice of the Gen Z ladies, I feel masculinity in it.
True.
Like, I don't know how to put it, but like, it's not flexible. Those times when, our times are our times, a girl will be talking to, and you'll be like, you'll be melting. This day there, you hear the guy's voice, hey, which Van Damme just appeared here? Terminator 52. Like, I'm just speaking my mind, though, like how I feel. Like, you see, because when we were young, we felt like mothers would teach the girls how to talk in terms of moderation of the tone of their voices. It is not like that. These days, you hear a girl who is intentionally wanting to be aggressive. Where? Shall I make the play here? You go like, so that's, to me, radicalization of women, and moreover to negligence on the importance of marriage. So that's what I talk about, gross impunity and disregard for sexual purity. So the body is wired in such a way that a young man who is Gen Z, you get to a certain stage, obviously, you cannot stop your hormonal balances. You get to a point, you need a woman. When we were much younger, when you start getting to that point, they begin to tell you about marriage, because you surely will need a woman. You can't help it. You surely will need a woman. But here we are having so many things: PhD, DAD, DDD, FFF, this and that and that and that. So the sister wants to do PhD. Pastor Mike, when she's ovulating, the hormonal imbalances is so crazy like hell. She's watching all manner of things. She can't hold herself. She can't control herself. So eventually, she will need to have she will need to have a man, and then that leads to the fact that there is now what you call cohabitation. So you see girls that are living with guys they are not married to. They live together, everything is fine, everything is okay. And the point is that none of them are even interested in discussing or advancing the subject of, okay, then let us officially make it public as husband and wife. Are you with me? So, Bishop, I think I'm done talking here. How did we get here?
Before Bishop, I just want
Yes,
to
please.
answer that question a little bit before Bishop speaks. You see, I think the Bible says something that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Everything that Pastor has just spoke about, it boils down to parenting. Because the fear of a parent leads to wisdom. When I was in school, 2002 to 2005, I was alone. There are things that I will be doing. My parents are not there, but there are things I will be doing. I have to stop by myself that if my dad saw me, I'm dead. So I think what we need to factor on about this Gen Z thing is parenting. If you speak to me, I will, if you are talking to me, I will equally know the kind of parent that raised you. So, if I'm a man, I'm looking for a woman to my at this level that I am now. Like, things, information on my head, like I'm not married. Maybe I'm not even married. Because I want to know your mindset about, like, based on what Pastor has said, like, I want to know your mindset about marriage, relationship, education, in all aspects of life. Okay. So, the way you speak to me, let me know, maybe I want to have something to do with you or not.
Okay.
Either what kind of generation you are from. So, it boils down to parenting.
Okay.
It boils down to parenting, because if you are in school, you don't want to stay with 5 people. What do you want to be doing? If you don't want to stay with 5 of your girls, you want to stay alone, what do you want to be doing? Or you are a guy, you want to stay alone, what do you want to be doing? You have 4 years or 5 years to stay and then leave. Then you can now have your independence however you want it. So it boils down to parenting.
Okay.
Bishop.
Headmaster.
I think for me, I totally agree with everything Pastor Ben and Pastor Mike just said, and I want to read something. For the brackets of age that Pastor was talking about. I was just reading something and they were saying this, that as of right now, okay, so the Gen Zs are reaching life milestones. As Gen Z steps into adulthood, their lives are changing fast. Since last year, there's been a 45% increase in Gen Z who say they are married, and a 23% in those with kids. Plus,
who say they are married? Like, I don't understand. They say they are married and they are not married.
Well, perhaps. Plus 90%. Plus 90% of Gen Z are now decision makers, even at work, up from 15% last year.
Yeah.
These changes highlight their growing influence in both their personal and professional lives, changing the old school view of them as forever young. So I guess that for me, no matter what anyone would say, I think we should understand that we are human beings on earth.
Okay.
All right. And being human beings on earth, there are certain things that no matter what you do, you will do them.
Okay.
Number one,
Okay.
you would have to be educated.
That's right.
You can't do anything about that.
That's right. That's right.
Number two, you would need to be financially sound.
That's
you
right.
can't do anything about that. Number three, you would have to need somebody around you, hence marry.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about that.
That's right.
You know, and even with the same point, you would have to need friendship. You can't run away from that. Four, you will still need leadership at some point in your life.
That's right.
Whether it's church leader, work leader, boss, societal leaders, elders in society, or your parents. You can't do anything about it.
That's right.
You will still need leaders. And sometimes we seem to forget, you know, just like the writer was saying, that there's this sense of we want to live forever young, you know. I believe it was the same bracket that Forever Young song actually came to do so well. And it's like a mentality everybody in that group sort of wants, like, and everybody wants to forever live young. Basically run away from responsibilities. And I believe that
Who sang that song?
Jay-Z.
Alphaville, Jay-Z, the whole stretch of things. But
My mind was going on somebody. Oh. Let me not see it. Let me, because I thought it's Shatawale.
so you can write that. Yes. So for me, I think just as I really love what Pastor Mike said, that we forget particular things and we seem to oftentimes think about the group we are part of. But there is a societal strategy that has existed ever since creation. And it's not about your age bracket. It's the need of humanity. You can't do anything about it. You would have to, you know, tweak your system, your life goals, your life ideas to suit that. It's not about I'm part of a certain group of people, so we think in a certain way or we do certain things in a certain. No, I believe, just as Pastor said, the whole technological thing that, you know, let me say uplift that happened, is just for life to get better. Science came to make life easier.
Yeah.
It's not to take us away from the right strategies of life. I love what Pastor Mike said, that the old life, listen, you know there's a verse in Exercises that says something, that there's nothing new under the sun.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right? So whatsoever thing, and I believe that is true, because even if we want to go into history, we go into the Egyptian, you know, time past to talk about the, you know, the Akkadians, Sumerians. Listen, they had a lot of powerful tools, powerful strategies. Listen, our science today is trying to even learn how the pyramid was made.
Yeah.
That's right.
So let us not even try and make it look like, you know, we are so high somewhere. You know, there were a group of people that came, did certain things, and up to now, our science and our tech can do. You know, so there's nothing new under the sun, guys. Like, for me, ever since, people have been trying to, hey, I get it. You know, there are people that say that the people that made it were not humans. But you were not there. So let's just relax with all the arguments, okay? For now, in this discourse, we should understand that. Let's respect that ever since creation, human beings have always wanted to try and make things easier. For example, I believe when we study scriptures from the time where they left the Garden of Eden, you could see the Bible said that a group of people came and they started thinking about what they should eat. You know, some went into agriculture, some went into music, you know, musical instruments, some went into even fashion, some went into several, even construction, all that. Now, let's think about this. Why do you think people came to build all these things? It's just to make life easier.
Yeah.
I believe that before all these things, God used to be our food. God used to be our water. God used to be our settlements.
Yeah.
God used to be our clothing. You know, God used to be our food. God used to be our music. We didn't need any one of these things. You didn't need any technological know-how to live life. God was our everything, you know. But today, it looks like, you know, all these things became needful, and some way somehow says, it's like they are taking us away from God. Because we are too much concentrated on what we have to put on and forget that the one who created what we must put on. You know, we seem to really forget about all that, all in the name of, you know, the generation we are part of is all about fashion days. I feel like if you don't know God, you can't dress well. I believe that if you don't know who the creator of fashion is, you cannot be able to dress well.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Because let's put it this way. I am the one with confusion about Gen Z. Is that not so?
Okay, sir.
And sometimes it becomes very stressful. You are trying as a pastor, maybe pastoring Gen Zs, their way of thinking. And so let's say I call Bishop, please come and help me. I want to understand something. So as you are talking, it is like you are settling the doubts that I have in my mind. Okay, you are answering so many things. So Pastor Mike was talking about parenting. Because I have issues and I'm asking, how did we get here? Then Pastor Mike is talking about parenting. And listening to Pastor Mike talk, then it is becoming obvious. Because for me, whatever you do, I want to cross-check it with scriptures.
Yeah.
All right, and my favorite part of the Bible is always Genesis because it means beginning. So you will have to find where everything began from. So I began to think through what Pastor Mike is saying. Now, parenting, of course, parenting is a product of marriage. So that means that if we are where we are and we are having issues of Gen Zs or whatsoever, then something is obviously gone wrong with parenting.
Yes.
So trying to map up scriptures to what Pastor Mike is saying, then it just dawned on me that, okay, let's put it in this way. We could consider what Eve did as infidelity. Let's put it in that bracket. Because you probably left your husband, all right, and you go have an interaction in whatever it is. Because infidelity does not necessarily have to be the physical action. Because Jesus said if you look at a woman lustfully, before already, so it's the same way a woman can also have an affair with a man already in her heart. So let's say that if and then Adam's scenario is something of that sort. But my question here is that if and then say the serpent scenario is something of that sort. My question here is that Adam could have any reason to have said, okay, you know what, because of what you have done, it's over. But I realized that God put them in a bracket that they didn't have any option. So they just have to be in. Then I asked myself another question. Why is it that irrespective of the outcome of the marriage, divorce was not an option? Then I realized that upbringing of children. And it is what I came to meet. The marriages I came to meet was not necessarily nice. I never saw my dad caressing my father. I mean, those things, I just see them in movies. So. You know what I'm saying? Honey, which honey? You know what I'm saying? There was nothing of that sort. But divorce was never an option. So that comes to substantiate the point that Jesus makes. God hates divorce. Why? Because divorce becomes a foundation of giving birth to Gen Zs. By my definition, it's not age bracket, it's a thinking bracket. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's a thinking bracket. Because when somebody is divorced, the children that come out of divorce home, because they never got love from beginning, they grow up with this independent mentality. So they don't have enough tolerance to accommodate people. The teamwork is not there, understanding is not there. So when Jesus said God hates divorce, and Pastor Mike, I have come to understand it so much so that I can tell you on authority that I don't care what I will do, what extent I can go, just to ensure my marriage is intact. Because I realized that if Jesus Christ did not have Joseph as the earthly father, because the same scenario, what Mary did, somebody can also define it also as infidelity. We are there now, one day you came or you say you are pregnant. But then the angel went to tell Joseph that don't abandon the woman. Marry her. Why? Because of the child. And when we were young, that was the communication on the lips of our mother. If not because of them, your grandmother would say, oh, for we need to call also because of the children, because of the children. That would mean that we don't marry because of fun. We marry because of the children. no matter how bitter it is, when we attempt to divorce, it will produce all the negative consequences we are seeing among the Gen Zs. Could Jesus have really been our Jesus if he was raised by a single parent? Let's just think for a second. Could he have really shared? Like the way he would have sounded the people on the cross. Bishop, I'm telling you before God, man, I can never die on the cross for anybody. I can never die. Pastor Mike, the rejection I face, it is more than the meals. You, I was only 7 years old. I was rejected, lived in the jungle, no father, no mother, nothing, suffered. Some of you came and you heard me talking about animals I've eaten, crocodile and things, just to survive. Go through such a harsh life, beaten by snake, beaten by scorpion, abandoned in forest, beaten by all manner of tigers that think that their teeth are itching them. They look for somebody, but it is me they buy. And on top of it, you come and carry me. They say they're taking me to Golgotha to go and nail me. What was the nail? Didn't I feel it when the scorpion was biting me? I will sound you. Hey, I will remove the cross. I will kill you. So leave the Jesus to die is die. After all, Charlie, guy know that be that. Because the father could have rejected the mother. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's not be too try to make it look sugar coated for Jesus. It's as it is. The guy was that B. Let's leave it. That means that having father and mother being there is a very crucial ingredient for raising a generation. Bishop, let's not me with this Jesus matter. Me, he's our brother. He's our brother. Let's just stop playing like that.
I feel like we also have to realize that the generations before created the generation now.
Okay, that's
so
right.
That simply is that Generation X, Generation Y, they are the reasons why we have Generation Z.
That's right. That's right.
So if we want to have better generations, then it means we too will have to live a better life. We'll have to marry well.
And that's why we are here to talk about it.
So for now, I think that has set us on a certain level, and so we'll just take a break. Just 2 minutes. All right, just get some water, sip some drink to, chill whatever that you understand you have received today, and then we'll be back in just 2 minutes. All right, just wait for us. All right. Right. Shalom, 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 and welcome back. It's the Singles Chat time with Pastor, and we're about to enter into a very interesting time, and we have heard Generation X tell us, what they think about Generation Y, Generation Z, isn't it?
Yeah.
We want to also hear the Gen Zs tell us what they think about whatsoever they heard right here, and whatsoever they think that should be how people should actually view their points. We want to hear their mind, we want to hear their hearts, because Pastor said earlier as we started that he also wants to hear what these group of people think. He wants to understand them and how best we can also pastor such a group of people. So, and of course, it goes down to the whole idea of marriage, which we ended with. So we want to know, okay, do you guys think we should blame the Generation X and Y for what Gen Zs are? And do you think everything they are saying about you is a good point? Or, good points, or you think they are not? I want to hear Secretary.
Bishop, I'll base it on your data. Bishop, Gen Z started in 1997.
Yeah.
Which means the oldest Gen Z right now should be about 28 years old.
Okay.
Now, these are attacks on Gen Zs. We can say we all started when Gen Zs were young. And all of you were finding a way to understand us. But here again, whatever was being found on social media was an effect of what were from the generations before.
Okay.
So, I feel it's a bit offensive if Gen Zs are attacked directly, because we are only learning by what we see. Like, no Gen Z will actually pick a phone and start to express feelings if he didn't see an older person do it.
Wow.
Like, a child even
But
being
in movies.
So they saw it in the movie. Who did the movie? The person who did the movie is probably Generation A.
I get your point.
Yeah. So, like, the Gen Zs have learned something. You see, the learning might not be when a parent was there. So the parents might be like, where did you learn this? You and your people cry out some way. Maybe the child went to school, somebody else who has learned it has told the child that, Charlie, I saw something, this. Then now the person who has heard it from the one who has learned it will go and practice it and exhibit it. Here, so
MTV.
more shows like that. So it's not us. You see, from what you
that's
read,
your point. It's not you.
It's not us. And from what you
Okay.
read, 45% married.
Yeah.
19% more
Say they are married. Yeah.
19% more taking up responsibilities at work. And I believe like years are coming by, we'll find more of them doing more things. And we'll actually find out that the Generation Z people, they're not actually that bad. But if
That's bad. So you
That's
believe
bad.
they are.
I've seen some things in my people.
Oh.
Okay, you see some things. Can you just tell us what are the things you see? Like exactly what you see the Gen Zs that you yourself that as a Gen Z crying, you don't really like. What is it? So it doesn't look like we are just pointing fingers. and saying,
I thought about it somewhere last year. It wasn't in like relationship kind of thing, but like everybody was like Gen Z. So I just took some time to think about it. I don't really spend time on social media, but when I was thinking about it, one thing that really came to mind, or one thing I realized was that if you be a men's womb, that's what I realized.
Yeah.
So anything you are seeing Gen Zs are doing, they were in generations before, but I see Gen Zs are a lot.
Okay.
Like you're also. Now we like the fact that we are plenty. So a lot in us is speaking volumes.
Okay.
And the thing is, the good ones, they don't care. Because there are a lot of quiet people who also go online and say, "Akwa with Jimmy Pound." And pass by, and you never see them.
Yeah.
But those who don't think they're Jimmy, but feel like they are confident enough to be on social media, we will all look at them on social media. Because at long last, there are only a handful of people on social media. There are a lot of people who still don't have the confidence to put themselves on social media. So what we are seeing online is not a complete exhibition of who Gen Zs are.
Of course. Yeah.
You're fine. I want to hear Lily on this too.
I agree very much with what Yakata said, especially with the whole thing about us being a handful on social media. I feel like we've not fully seen the whole outline of who and what a Gen Z is or should be. And stemming back from our question, why Gen Z is this way, I believe so much is from their family they were brought up in. I feel like the reason why Gen Zs have decided to be very outspoken and very expressive is because they believe that what they've seen from home is that Gen X and Gen Y, women have been taught that when you are married, you are supposed to be submissive. Submission also means like keep quiet, don't speak, don't voice out your concerns. Whether you are wrong or he's wrong, the husband is always right. So from these experiences, I feel like that's why Gen Zs have decided to be very expressive, very free, very independent, because they've seen things at home that has worked on their mindsets.
That's true.
And it's making them feel like I won't let you shut me up like the way you shut mommy up at home.
Okay.
Like I will speak. Because this is my time.
That's right.
Bishop, can I ask you a question? I think that what we're trying to achieve here is that as we highlight on the negatives, the question is that what is the way forward? All of us. Because Bishop has already said that Gen Zs are obviously a product of a previous generation. What is the way forward? And the way forward, like you're saying, I think Gen Z, YZ, XZ, IZ,
JZ.
whatever Z bows down to thinking. That is why there's no Gen Z in the Bible, YZ in the Bible. The Bible is a revelation of a God who is never defined by any generation or defined by any change, defined by time and his ways of doing things. So, like I said, let me use myself as an example. I could have become a Gen Z in my thinking, because growing up, I saw many things that were very unpleasant. I'm trying to establish the fact that as we raise the concerns and the negativity, we must be able to recalibrate it in accordance to God's word so we can adopt the best practices. All right? For instance, sometimes I ask myself a question: why did my father have to give birth to plenty children? We are 5. You don't have money. Why do you have to give birth to 5 children and then you couldn't raise the 5 children? So upon that question, then I came to a conclusion that there's nothing wrong with having plenty kids. Like, I really want to have plenty kids. I'm just starting anyway. So whatever you see, I'm just starting. But you got to be very rich. So as much as I am thinking of plenty children, I am really working on my entrepreneurial skills, because I really have to be very rich.
There comes to another question. This generation and the generations before, financially, which of the let's say generation Y, and X, versus the generation Z, which do you think would get easy access to finances?
Well, as for finance, to me, it's subjective. Finance is everywhere. But in terms of access, it depends on you, the individual, your level of knowledge, and then your exposure, and then the environment you find yourself.
But another person will say Gen Z.
Okay, why?
Why? Because the other generation doesn't really have access to things, online. Now, people make millions of dollars online. Now, they don't even have...
Without fraud.
Without fraud. I'm telling you, without fraud. You don't even have to do anything. Per month, someone can cash out like $500,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Online. You see, so I would say is some will go with what Pastor Ben said. Another two will say.
Another issue. That's the way I'm saying that it's very subjective. Because, for example, I have a friend who was a media guy, was doing media in church, and then realized that there's so much money online. This guy goes to America, and in just a space of a year and a half, has shifted from media to cybersecurity and to networking. And the guy has built his own system that he's working online. and he's really making a lot of money. But he's even older than me. But truth is that me, if right now where my mind is, I cannot go and learn those things. But somebody even older than me has been able to go and learn. So his knowledge base is giving him money much more
So I mean, my
online.
issue right now is there is more people in this generation than in those days.
Yeah.
And so, if let's say you had the word, let me say in the generation Y maybe 3 billion or 4 billion, right now it's 8 billion people. The number of works available, the question is, as compared to the population, and the number of works that was available as in those days, and the number of people available, we need to rate all these things and be able to know whom will be more financially sound.
Bishop, it still comes back to my conviction that it's highly subjective. Let me give you an example. I will not advise you to have more than 2 kids. As a father, I will not advise anybody, but I will also not let anybody advise me not to have less than 5 kids. If anything at all, as I am right now, no. 5 na me home for now. I have 3. I have 2 more. Now the reason why I will say so because I've built capacity. All right. So if I'm going for 5, I know what it means or
So
what
how
it
did you
takes.
build the capacity?
Now, so I'm coming. There are a lot of things that in my generation, all right, by default we grew with it. Example is farming.
That's actually what I'm coming to.
Yeah. So as much as internet is in your generation, you will not eat data. When you make that money, you will still come back and farm. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, I think when was it last week or something like that? My car broke down. When you came to help me, what was the first thing you were removing from my boot? Food. The kind of palm nut in my fridge now is not what you eat. You eat the genetically modified one. So do you know where that part? I went all the way to the farm. Because me, as I am right now, farming is in my blood. It's in my blood. I was brought up by default. So wherever I live, there has to be farm around me. Like Christmas time, we came to harvest cassava from your house. You understand what I'm saying? This one has not even seen cassava tree before. So if I'm going to give birth to 5, chances are that all the food I'm going to eat in my house, I was brought up in a generation where we farm it around.
And so the next question is, why is it that the old generation did not teach the new generation the same principles?
So you see, when Pastor Mike says something, you also answer something. All right? We'll come to Lady Ora. Pastor Mike talked about parenting. And I said that. So if that is the case, we need to also shift our understanding of marriage and come and recalibrate to the fact that Jesus said God hates divorce. So no matter what happens in a marriage, divorce is not an option. So I put it.
I killing the woman.
Which one?
Then with knife.
Yes. Okay. But let us all not exaggerate. It is not a common practice. Let's not blow it out of proportion. If this internet thing can blow everything out of proportion. How many people kill people, wives or whatever? Just a handful.
The beatings.
The what?
It's a lot.
It is also blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it's actually a lot.
No, I know, but like he said, there are many people whose marriage things are not on social media. Okay, for example, me, you can't take it from me. I love comfort. So I love marriage. I want to wake up with a soft body by my side and then hold it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's a pill to sleep. You understand what I'm saying? I'm enticing you. I don't know why. Every time my wife's body is warm. You understand? So when I'm going to sleep and that warm thing touch me, it knocks me into sleep. So me, because I know that I love marriage.
Warm thing.
Yeah. I don't know, but I grew up wanting comfort. I don't believe in struggling. So the little thing that comes my way, I begin to be very uncomfortable.
So that means you are Gen Z too.
I maybe my thinking, the positive aspect of Gen Z.
So maybe because you struggled, you want soft life.
Yes, I want soft life.
People didn't struggle, but they want soft life.
They can still have it. So because of that, I believe in marriage. So do you know what I did? Because I really love marriage, I did not expose myself to the negative happenings in marriage. I always want to familiarize myself to the marriage stories of marriage and how people are enjoying. So I took my time. I go to homes where you see the woman and the man petting themselves, doing this, hitting their wife's buttocks. when I see the good ones. So my question is that I can also debate with you that I think the issue of abuse in marriage is blown out of proportion because I don't go looking for those information. I want the one that would make life look comfortable, your wife, your children. And I really see, for example, when I showcase my children on my status, I see people have issues with it. But at the same time, they go and buy Milo and somebody's child is the advert. And say, these kids are cute. If it is Michael Jackson's own, they say, Michael Jackson is cute. So can't I be Kofi Jackson? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So we are trying to learn the positive aspect. So what I will advise you, that marriage is good. It is not because of the sex. It is good because we are able to raise kids. And also marriage is good because of the kids. Whatever happens, let's stay. And in my understanding, whatever that could happen could be infidelity. And so I put it to a question to this sister because I saw it. Yes, let's ask it. So my question here is that I grew up in a society where I saw a man will come to the house and say, Ekuya. So the man, I'm dramatizing now. Okay. The man will begin to feign some kind of distant mindedness. 3 days. Then the wife will come.
Mirror.
And then how? Now say me who say usubendi asesa. I've observed you have changed. Ikuya, sit down. There is something that is troubling me. You see that chief's daughter. Ikuya, something has happened. What has happened? I have impregnated her. Then the woman will go like, hey! Joe. That woman's own will also last for 3 days. Then afterwards, we come to the drawing table. I'm talking about the generation I grew in and how I saw the thing. Now the drawing table here is that we need to find a way. I go with my wife. We go see the person's family. We accept responsibility. We take the baby. And I grew up seeing this thing being common. All right. So example also is the case of Abraham. We've seen a lot of things. And nobody opted for divorce because we were thinking about the security of our children and how to raise them. Then you come to Gen Z generation. All right. I have not even done anything. The girl is already projecting into my mind that I am cheating. So she goes for the phone and she's now scouting with a lot of conviction, even with fasting and prayer, that she will get evidence. If that thing is God, she starts asking God to create an evidence. Then she finds something. Then that is enough for separation. And none of us, both male and female, ever think about the psychology of the kids, the emotional, as we are living the kids. So I put it to you, Gen Zs, the scenario I've created, if it happens, how would you address it?
Okay, so to summarize what you said, as in your question, that I am with a man, we are married. That's the first thing to note. We are married. We swore, or we made an oath, right, that you and I have become one.
Yeah, that's the oath in the people. The generation can nobody makes it. Just drink for wine and calabar.
Okay, since we are talking about my generation,
we are
looking at how my generation does marriage. So we have taken an oath that we are one. So that means that there's not supposed to be a third person, a second person even, because we are one. And then we are married. And you come to me and tell me that you've had something to do with somebody and you've gotten her pregnant. So you want the way forward. First of all, for you to have gotten to the point of sleeping with her, that means that something was happening between the two of you. I'm speaking from a very typical Gen Z mind. Because how did you get to the point of seeing each other's nakedness? That means you have seen each other's nakedness in your mind, in your conversations, how you talk to each other. And so it was a deliberate thing. you don't mistakenly get somebody pregnant.
Yeah.
You don't unintentionally find yourself in the same bed or wherever you people had the sex. You don't find yourself there mistakenly or unintentionally or absent-mindedly.
Hold on to this one. Okay. Because of you Gen Zs, let's raise a disclaimer. There are some of you that are watching us who are Christians. Please, for the love of reality, just shelve those your what do you call it, cliché mentality, because you know that some people, pastors are on this panel. We are raising issues that are happening to us. Then they begin to misjudge people. I mean, how can you be talking about somebody going to sleep with somebody and it is really happening? It's not happening. And so if it's happening, forget about this cliché thing. We are doing that. Let's speak to what is really happening. So over to you. Yes. So disclaimer before you go and say Pastor Ben is advocating that it's going to have babies outside.
Yeah, so like I said, it means that it was an intentional thing. And for every time you spent with a woman, did you remember that you were a married man? Did you remember I was in the picture? What gave you the energy, the mind, the strength, everything to think that it is okay for you to sleep with somebody else, get her pregnant? In the first place, what were you expecting that I would do? Were you expecting that maybe you were not expecting her to get pregnant? And that's the point. If she didn't get pregnant, would you have ever told me about your relationship, about the fact that you were cheating?
I think they have told you. That's what happened. So, a typical Gen Z. A typical Gen Z.
I mean, my mind would go to places because you are telling me because she got pregnant. If she didn't get pregnant, you probably would have continued cheating and you wouldn't tell me about it. Okay. And so now that you have told me that you've gotten somebody pregnant, first of all, I am not one to share my husband or to share my partner with other women. And so if right
now... are listening.
Right now, whenever I look at you, my first thought will be that, so somebody has seen you the way I have seen you. And I don't want that. It has broken trust. I can't trust that after this. And I mean, if I'm married to a Gen Z, that's even worse because I know what they are like. So that's like, I have forgiven you once. What's the tendency that you will not go and sleep with the same person or another person because you know that my wife is understanding? She would understand.
So now that brings me to this question. We are talking about how to make marriage work in our time. So we can raise children who may be Gen Z in age, but not Gen Z in thinking. So I still put it to you. You have discovered that your Gen Z husband has weakness when it comes to women. Wow. Now you have discovered it in reality. The person has made that revelation known to you. Now, my question here is, let's take it to where we are coming from.
Okay.
In our generation, where we are coming from.
Okay.
A mother can sit down there and see a father, all right, doing all these kind of things. But you know what the mother will do? The mother will protect the psychology of the kids by not creating an image of the father as a weak man. Because the children will then grow up thinking that what the father is doing is normal. Okay. So the mother will never in any way call the father names. I can tell you that if anything is making me a good father, I saw things about my father because I read and what have you that I didn't like. But I never saw my mother having any problem with it. So at the end of the day, I saw my mother more as my role model. That even me, as young as I am seeing things that I don't like about my dad. But this woman has never even mentioned it to any of we the kids. Then why don't I become like my mother? Having that strength to be able to accommodate.
Emotional damage.
Oh, no, it's working for me in the sense that, like I'm just asking you, how would you address the issue with your Gen Z husband who has told you openly, this is the problem I'm dealing with? Now, we need to,
Was it before or after the marriage?
After.
After the marriage.
In the marriage.
Did he make the spouse aware that I have a weakness when it comes to women?
No, you Grandpa, you should have seen it. Didn't you see the chat? Didn't you see the chat? On the wedding day, did you see this, that the girl that was in
I feel like we ought to know that we are all not perfect. So we all have our weaknesses, and when we are going to marry, we have to make ourselves aware of these weaknesses so that we find a way to work around it.
Yeah.
That's where compromise and other things come to play.
But
So,
I don't think there's any man who would want to tell his wife to be that.
he's not ready
I
to
think
marry.
I have a weakness.
Oh, he's ready to marry. That's why he's not ready to marry you. Because he's not ready to marry you because you are not understanding him. Do you understand? I want us to look at the context. The context has to do how do we raise kids? Because Bishop, nothing is as troubling as coming from a single home, being raised by a single parent. My brother, better look for water and drink and trust God that you go to heaven. It may not change. Let's not joke here. You may not, don't let any man of God deceive you. It may not, because if God hates divorce, that means that God cannot even, it's beyond God's ability to help you come out of certain things when you come from a divorcee family. Because if God wants her to know that he can do it, he should have allowed Joseph to leave Mary. Why did he allow Joseph to stay with? So that we would have known that God can make do when somebody is raised by a single parent. Look at how Dada beat Jesus on. Even the day he was going to die, the mother was still following and crying. You, when you were good, did your mother even come to your PTA? I mean, the guy was going to die. That tells you how, when parents are together, it affects the psychology of the child.
Yeah.
I really want to, let's not raise this Jesus as if said. You understand what I'm saying? Let's talk about the humanistic aspect of the man. Very comfortable. Pastor Mike, just imagine you are going to die, then your mother will come. As you say you are going to die, they are looking for the gold they will use to your funeral. The guy had that home. Joseph. And it is you and I who are reading the Bible and see that Joseph is not his real father. Maybe at that time, everybody considered that Joseph was his real father. And they never even called him Mary's son. They said Joseph, the son of Joseph the carpenter.
Yeah.
That simply means that even though Mary might have done her away game crap, they have to cover the child.
Yeah.
So that brings to why a mother who wants the child to grow in a responsible home may not even want to tell them that your sister is from a different family. He said from a different mother. But some of it will shock you that the sister you call your real sister is a step. That's how strong some home. For me, there are two places where we can find secret in the world: the grave and marriage.
So please repeat that.
The grave and marriage.
So the whole thing.
Two places in the world you can find secret. You will never, the secret will never come out. Is the grave and marriage. FBI crumpled recently. Donald Trump is bringing secret out. But married people, married people, that really wants to succeed. It will shock you. Listen, I have worked with pastors. Some of you, there are some pastors you even know. If I tell you they have children outside their homes, you will never believe it. But their wives have managed the situation so much well that you will never hear fishing. And the children are going around, ask my father and my mother, they're the best people. It is your father's day of death. You will hear secrets. And how they kept it away from you. So my point is that if that ancient thing works, can we as Gen Zs find a way? And I'm sure that it is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Like the sister was saying, one thing I've seen about Gen Zs is that they never accept their faults. I've never met any Gen Z young lady who have ever, they are just reckless in their decisions and they always want somebody to be, I'm talking about the ladies who, they are reckless and they don't want anybody to accept their responsibility. For example, Pastor Mike, you are going to do a particular course. Your boyfriend says that the course you are going to do is not going to be very helpful. You went and did whatever the person said. Like me, by the special grace of God, I really have a hobby that is good, but it is not good. If you are going to do something that is not good, and I advise you and you don't want to listen, because I want to get back at you, I know that this thing will destroy you, but I will hype you. Because first I said it, you were arguing. Third I said it. So now I will pretend. Oh yeah. Go ahead. After all, if you break your leg, this is my leg before. And you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you are going to do a master's course. They tell you that this course you are going to do is not going to help you. You've spent 2 years, you've wasted money, you have come, nothing is working for you. Now you are blaming your boyfriend that it is because you did not support me. Are you getting my point? So I feel that ladies, you see the way she was talking, she does not also know that women have fought in marriage. But I've never met a Gen Z lady who acknowledges that women her fault. Even if you are married and the husband is misbehaving or chatting other girls, have you bothered to ask, what are you doing wrong?
So that one,
I beg to differ.
It's a big issue right now.
Yeah.
Because the argument right now is men and women today who are more sexually pure. And normally it's going to become that men are not sexually pure.
That's the narrative that is being created.
Yes, from the women. Yes, because of what they have also faced. And there are men who also believe that their squad, they are also very, very not sexually pure. But there are some who believe that.
That's how society has also made us also to believe. So which have taken it.
Yes, sir. So right now it's like it's an argument out there that who are we really like trying to believe? So it brings this whole matter of insecurity, boundaries in relationships, because it makes women, in this whole conversation makes women feel like they need to overly protect their men because of other women out there and the tendencies of men because of this. You know, right now it's an
Are you
argument.
sure they are really protecting?
Yes, yes, right now that's what is out there. Right now,
Maybe let's ask her, are you really protecting the men?
Yes.
In what sense?
So if, like Bishop said, there are women that like,
because I see more
question,
breakups becoming plenty.
So I think first of all, the one thing that Gen Z's advocate a lot is self-care and taking care of yourself, putting yourself first and all of that.
Your emotional, your mental.
Exactly, because your mental health is like the most important thing to you as...
I understand though.
Yeah, as a Gen Z, like you can't allow anybody to disrupt your mental health. Whether your boss, your parents, your partner, whoever it is, so long as the person is doing anything that is attacking your mental health, step aside. And I think that is one thing that we have hyped so much that the core idea of mental health is even being lost on us, right? And not to even deviate from what you are saying, that a woman is now going through a man's phone because she wants to be sure that, you know, like she's the only person. First of all, social media will always be social media. And as, I'm not even going to say as a man, but as people, your self-control should be important to you. Because if you whether you decide to abstain from social media or not, there will always be women out there. There will always be men out there.
I like that.
It's all up to you to make a decision for yourself that this is not the path I am choosing. In as much as they have made it sound like it is an okay thing for, as a man, if you have like just one girlfriend, that's...
There's the whole thing
Talk about that. It's like the
there's a whole thing about
How
biology. There's a whole thing about, there's a whole argument out there about biology. You know, and it's a belief right now in some men that there's not any man created to have one woman. All right. Yeah, it's a thing, and it's a whole argument out there right now.
I mean, they even use a lot of Bible examples that all the great men we see in the Bible, nobody ever had one wife. They all had multiple.
I think I just mentioned Pastor Mike's solution. There was another thing Bishop said that I think we should raise because we are not dealing with topical issues. Bishop was talking about education in the way he was talking, because education is all about, I mean, this mental framework and how people perceive. So I think that when education goes wrong, all right, society will go wrong, and obviously generation will go wrong. It was recently I realized that I was studying about law versus grace, and I discovered something in the Bible, and I realized that what destroys men is actually law. And I realized that law is actually miscommunication of grace. I was putting it on my status. And I realized that so that presupposes that a lot of our fathers in the past have done us great disservice. The fundamental education, like the definition went wrong. And so honest was the writers of the Bible, they said the laws of Moses. Meaning God has separated himself from the guy like that. I mean, there were things Moses actually said. God didn't say it. It was he who was giving the laws.
Yeah.
So then, studying that, then Bishop, I discovered it is still coming from Genesis, which is beginning. The first man to make law was Adam. Bishop, go and read the Bible. You'll be shocked. You know, in Genesis chapter 2, God told Adam, don't eat out of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For the day that you eat, you can check it for yourself. For the day that you eat out of it, you shall surely die. Then you go to Genesis chapter 3, Eve is now giving a report of what has been told her. Then she goes further and says that God said, don't eat out of the tree, nor or touch it. But God didn't say touch. That means Adam introduced touch. So the perspective of Eve is as a result of the wrong education that Adam gave to her. And that is what brought about curiosity. And curiosity will lead you to temptation. And temptation will lead you to sin. So if that is the case, then we can say that there is a lot of education we are getting. It is giving us nothing but just giving us curiosity. Trying to know, explore what is not even going to help. Like you come and tell me that anatomy of the intestines of the rabbit. What am I going to do with the intestines of the rabbit? Like it doesn't really make it. And you can see a young, beautiful girl that is supposed to marry Bishop, and this girl is doing 4 years PhD in what? Rabbit anatomy. Sister, brand new worry. So you see, perspective is gone wrong. Perspective is gone wrong. So, Bishop, I want us to deal with the issue of education that the Gen Zs are getting as compared to our time.
I wanted to say something to what you were saying. So, I mean, when we started the stream, I remember the first thing I heard here was when it was just Adam and Eve, God had to deal with both of them and the serpent. When King Abel came, God told Cain that sin lies at thy door, and you shall overcome it. Yeah. But we saw clearly he looks like a guy didn't overcome it. He killed his brother and said had to come. And as generations went on, he had more people to deal with. And there is a part of the Bible where God has his chosen people and tells his chosen people to teach their children what he tells them, or to teach them his testimonies. But we keep on realizing that there is somehow King's people able to go in there and corrupt things. Yeah. So what he said was that the problem is knowledge, and it's coming from before. So I believe one way we can fix this thing is we really need to conscientize ourselves to look at the positives. And Bishop has really been interested about this. Yeah. And don't look at the positives from King's side. Because that's corruption also. You should be able to see, you should be able to discern what the truth is. That's when you're on social media, you should know what exactly is true. You don't want to consume anything. Personally, I have a big problem with anybody who spends so much time on social media. I don't know why. But
it's bad, but not also good. It's relative.
So let's learn how to find out what the truth is.
Bishop, can I say something that is going to be controversial?
Yes,
and which one of the things like Jesus did for all of us is the person of the Holy Spirit. And why we must spend time in fellowship with the Holy Spirit. Naturally, I don't believe in making deities out of pastors. Growing up, rejection helped me a lot when I was a child. I was rejected to the point that I just busted into the corridors of heaven. So it was like hearing God was just the only thing that gives me peace. Like I feel like I have a presence around. So it kept me. So I grew up really interrogating things, especially pastors. I kind of have a thing with pastors. And I never believed I would become one. Let me just tell you, I really did not like those guys. I honestly had a very strong controversy. So when you are a pastor, those times as a young boy, my first instinct is I want to challenge your knowledge base because I feel you are a liar. And I feel that the moment you are a liar, you are going to affect people with your lies and they will believe in your lies. So I really reverence pastors, but I don't fear them. For example, let me tell you why I'm saying this. If Moses messed up by making law, who told you that the so-called fathers of the land we are listening to are also not messing up with our minds? For example, the discussion going on with music ministers, gospel music ministers, and how some fathers of the land are trying to fight the whole thing. You may not have an issue, but me, I have a thing. Because if I keep on making this girl who sings in church and probably is spending a lot of money on enhancing herself and wants to make a career out of the singing she's singing in church. After all, God himself did not permit the Levitical priests to go and work. So one way or the other, the preaching or whatsoever they were doing was a career. If this person also finds herself singing in the church and decides not to go and do it, you are even talking about the fact that they are making money out of singing, but you are not talking about the fact that how would they survive. So at the end of the day, if we keep on swallowing those things, she's going to become Rihanna or Rijuana. And you push her, because don't forget that anytime you make law, it builds curiosity in people. Yes, it builds curiosity, because I don't really understand why a man of God will come out and you sort of having problem with me. No matter how the problem is, let us separate sentiment from it. And that's me, my thinking for you. So you see, that is why I want to recommend. That is my understanding of education. I also don't believe in too much school. And my wife and I...
people do that. People separate schooling from education.
Yeah, so me, I think my first degree is okay. And I thank God, I want to give respect to my lecturers who respected me. Because right from secondary school, I got so much respect from my teachers, I didn't feel like going to school further. Because if my lecturer can bow down to me and respect me like that, what am I looking for? That means the guy has confirmed that minimum too much. I don't need it. Like this thing I'm ready. Have interrogate scriptures.
Yeah.
Like what is happening? When Moses was giving the laws, especially the bill of divorcement, Jesus said in the beginning it was not so, but because of your stubbornness. Yeah. So if we are in church and you, pastor, you think that, oh, maybe you have issue with how music ministers are misbehaving, they are being stubborn. At the end of the day, they are still children. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There's a way I can deal with matters that concern my house without having to bring it out and generalize. Yeah. By the grace of God, me, when I set up, until I met somebody like Pastor Mike, naturally me, I don't believe in Kwe. You know Kwe? That's the fancy name for pa. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I don't believe in Kwe. But Bishop, when I hold microphone and I come to your church, I sing. If you don't like my voice, get that. So I don't really believe in choir or whatever. He's my choir pastor and then those guys. But he can tell you, even in church, he plays the organ, sing everything, go and operate. You have to do everything. Because Jesus didn't have choir, he didn't have music minister. So I grew up thinking that I'm not to be stressed by instrumentalists, guitarists, whatever. That is me for you. But also, if you decide to go in a certain approach, and probably there are excesses, I feel the excesses must be managed without making law and generalization out of it. I'm challenging you, the Gen Zs now, because if you go that way and they push you, you will run out and go and sing in the world. For example, do you know the girl who died in a car accident? What's her name? Ebony. She was a choir leader. She was in fact, she was queer. She was queer. What would lead Ebony to come out and be singing secular songs?
Money.
Michael Jackson. Look at what has happened to this guy from Water Region, R. Kelly. He's in a prison now. R. Kelly, and now isn't R. Kelly back to singing gospel songs? I mean, he has released a track.
It's not. He said he came and left again. So.
No, who was this? Who is it that they in prison now?
It's R. Kelly.
But you are singing
is not R. Kelly.
The one singing is not R. Kelly. Okay, let's see. But he will soon sing. Because what they are doing to the guy in prison, he will soon sing motivational song. So all I'm saying is that if somebody is a lover of music and what have you, and these narratives are creating confusion, because already these Gen Zs are having confusion, what will happen? We'll push them. So education to me is very, very important. Yes, sir. So you have an issue, present it well.
Before we go to the questions, I would want to even read something shortly.
All right.
So it said that mental health is still a big issue for Gen Z. They are the most likely generation to say they are prone to anxiety. 28% say this. And to report that social media stresses them out, 18% say this. Since 2020, there's been a 25% rise in Gen Z reporting mental health condition. These issues highlight the need for supportive workplaces and brands that prioritize mental well-being. Notably, Gen Z professionals who get mental health support at work are 19% more likely to be happy with their jobs, showing that targeted efforts really can make a difference.
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Now I'll ask you a question. The question is, what is the way forward? Sometimes I feel maybe I sound a bit weird on my stance on education, which to me is one of the ways of also radicalizing women. All right. For instance, Pastor Mike, a sister said she wants to finish her master's degree and also finish her PhD before she waits. And I don't know, maybe our generation, maybe it can be me personally. Somehow, I don't really have tolerance for nonsense. The day you said you were going to do your master's, as you were telling me master's, PhD, that's how I'm also now trying to check the list of women I know, my friends. Okay, as she's going, who is that? Ikuya, Naomi. Ikuya, can I already marry Ikuya? Naomi, Rose, Vero, PhD. I'm not going to wait for you. God is my witness. For that, all your PhD things, I'm not going to wait for you. I don't have that.
So they seem to be fine with that.
Oh, that's fine. You are fine with it. But we also must not deny the fact that a lot of the so-called girls that are spending too much of their years pursuing degrees and other things, it's increasing the depression, the anxiety, because now they want to think about marriage. But by the grace of God, all the boys are taking. I'm talking about the boys within their circle. They are taking. Somebody is talking about 30. People of 30 years old. And the guy is talking about the fact that don't date them, don't marry them. I don't know if you have seen the thing going on social media, talking about 30 and all those kind of things. You understand what I'm saying? And the 30 people are angry. They are so angry. I think they are reported a matter to Mahama. My question is that why did we get there? Because many people are spending their time with education. All right. And this is me. Let me give you an example. Knowing who I am, all right. I have married, and I feel that I must provide for my family, and I don't want my wife stay away from me, because somehow, maybe per my upbringing, I don't want temptation. So my wife is not working for now. She should be around. I want her around. It is not possible she can leave me and say she's going to do PhD anywhere. That is what fits for me. So let me work and make the money, and let us take care of ourselves and enjoy. At a point, if I feel it's okay for you to work, you work. This is what works for me. I don't know, you understand? This is what works for me. It may not work for you. And you may bring your argument about education. Then I also ask you a fundamental question. The horizon of perspective or ambitions in life, it has increased. People want to pursue so many things. So this whole thing about education is now become like a rabbit hole. You getting, and you're never getting there. So when? And that to me is where I think that there has been an intrusion of human laws. I don't even understand why Bishop and I sit down and we say, let's write constitution. We couple, we are not lawyers. With our common sense, we sit down and write constitution. Another generation comes and they are going to school to learn the constitution we have, as if it was aliens that dropped the constitution. Someone said, I'm going to school, I'm going to do law. What are you going to do? To learn a constitution that was put together by some other people. There's nothing wrong with studying law, but I can tell you that more courses are coming. Right now, I'm just hearing that Accra Poly has introduced another course, beardology, the study of beard. I'm just exaggerating. Many things can kind of what come. So it disorients your perspective. You are chasing many things except the fundamental thing. And one fundamental thing that can never change, irrespective of changes in society, is marriage. True of us. I've never seen a generation that never had sexual feeling. Even angels are having it. Dogs are having sex. Cats are having sex. What have you having sex? So you cannot use education to say you will never get to a point where you need somebody in your life. But why do we also not then think about, number one, marriage? And number two, how do we use this marriage to raise quality people? Because if there's anything that I think God wanted everybody to learn is agriculture. No matter what we do in school, you still come back and buy food. True of us. But these Gen Zs, they don't do agriculture.
Fast food.
Fast food. They are now doing AI food. Do you understand what I'm saying? But our generation, you didn't have to go to school to learn agriculture. It was part of it, school, farms, everything. So maybe our objectives, what we are looking for in life, is very simplistic as compared to these Gen Z. So as we are comparing, let's learn.
So right. we want to at this point take the questions.
Right.
So yes, please. Questions.
There's one question here. It says, a sect of us who are more or less TKU's first generation heading into the courtship and marriage phase, what's the way forward for us, and how should we set ourselves up for a sustainable marriage?
Pastor, so the question is, Pastor.
So you see, another thing has come, definition. Whether first generation, third generation, you are all Gen Zs. But soon you discover that if TKU becomes 2 million in number, another definition has come into the world. First generation Gen Zs. So it become a general word for the world.
They want help.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes,
I'm just trying to tell you that definition.
They want help in a sense that like both of you are married. They're asking that the first group of people in the house, they are around, this is 2016 to 2018, I believe. They are the first group of the people in this house. So they're asking that what should they do since they are in that phase of courtship and dating, and what's the way forward towards their marriage? So quickly, Pastor Mike.
Okay. To me, I would say that don't look at relationship and marriage as it is, as you see it today or on social media. Yeah. You see, institution of marriage is spiritual. Very, very spiritual. That's why I said earlier that if I meet you for the first time, I'm speaking to you, I will know who you are. Yeah. So if you are going into marriage, you must first base everything you are doing in the Word of God. Yeah, base everything. The woman, if you are a man, the woman you are going to marry, if you are a woman, the man you are going to marry. What is Bible saying concerning this man? What is Bible saying concerning this woman? So base your whatever you want to do around God, not on what you see on social media, or no all this feminine money or whatever kind of things that is going on around this generation. So what is God saying? What is the Word of God saying? So base everything, your findings, whatever you want to do, on the Word of God. Let your, if you're a man, let your girlfriend or your fiancé or read Proverbs 31. Can you be that kind of a woman?
A man. Yeah.
And a man, go back to Genesis. So let's all sit down together and then let's go through this. Can we really be this? If we can't, because if we don't, it can't work. But if we can, then it's work.
Pastor Ben.
Well, like Pastor Mike said, I want to look at me as a person. All right. Like I said, growing up because of rejection, which is as a result of maybe the foundation of marriage that I saw that was not too good, which to me, I think we have to look at our marriage in relation to God's word. Like I asked a simple question, why should my father have 5 kids when you know you did not have money? What happened to family planning in the days of my father? So I start asking questions because it's obvious if you have 5 kids, your finances is not going to be enough for you. So you're going to leave these children to suffer all by themselves. Do I have one? All right, so like I was saying, I started learning lessons with the help of the Holy Spirit from my father's and my mother's marriage. So I made up my mind. I'm going to marry. I'm going to have kids. My reasons for having kids is I want to raise children who think like me. 2, I don't want loneliness because I've suffered enough of it. So let me just have kids around. So now I take advantage over what my generation gave me, entrepreneurial skills. I know my farming, I know my animal, how to do my animal farming. I've suffered enough is a 2. Suffering itself is a product. It is enough for me to build tenacity, to start a business and make sure that it grows. What shame haven't I been shamed in this world? So I don't mind carrying something on my head to go and sell. It has to work. I know how to fry both roof. I can make it.
About the money.
So I'm making money to take care of my kids. But if my father
before
didn't,
that, we're asking that bracket of 27 to 28.
That's why I'm coming to help them.
26, 28.
So don't follow my example.
So
You right now, you can't fry both loaf. Me, I don't have shame. Like you have that shame. I don't have shame. Because I almost encountered death through hunger. So my mind is made up to survive and make money from everything. I've sold pure water. I have sold all manner of things. So because of that, my advice for you is don't give birth plenty. Believe in family planning. Don't do cohabitation. Marry early. Because there is a benefit of sex at a certain stage. Biological and spiritual. There's even spiritual benefit to sex. Marry early and have good sex. Say sex. Don't let anybody deceive you. That is from the devil. Say sex.
Sex.
Nonsense.
So you had a question also.
So Bishop, my advice to you is that marry. Do family planning. So that you don't start giving birth at the time your finances is not okay. Don't also say you will not marry, you want to get everything. Because whilst you want to get everything, you will surely mess up. And before you realize, you've lost count of the number of people you have had sex with. And in marriage, that comes to give you replay of it, affect your psychology. That is the cause of this depression. And many of you may not know, go and say this statistically. Married women are cheating now much more than married men. Just that they are not caught. Women are cheating, but they are not caught. Men cannot hide it when they cheat. It will show. It will really, really, because if the man even tries to hide it, the side chick will do something that will make it show. But no man in his right senses will want to do something to see that he is sleeping with somebody else's wife. Because that one, now, poof, shootings. Bishop, I get what I'm saying? Yes, so my advice for the Gen Zs is that marry early. The best time to marry, to me, look at if you're a lady, 25, 26, 27, because there are economic benefits to marriage. Nothing gives wealth creation like marriage, whether you like it or not. Wealth creation. Marriage gives wealth creation. Marriage gives mental stability. All right? Marrying early gives you an opportunity to give birth to your children too early and space the children. Marrying early too is because of the medical benefit of sex. Good sex. Say good sex.
Good sex.
Say it loud.
Good sex.
This clifford thing. So the church doesn't even, and that's the problem we have. Yeah. So the thing is that the church is shying away from talking about these things. Yeah. And for me, it's a simple policy I advise people. Marry early. Have good sex. So that the girl can be smiling well. They should stop scaring us with all these their faces that looks like contour line. Have good sex. Marry early. Have good sex. Bishop, good sex helps to take away bone pains. Your pastor will not tell you. I'm not that kind of pastor. I'll tell you. You understand? Say, joint pains. If you can't go to the gym on your wife.
Say they go to the gym.
They can go the after. So, but if I marry early, because I know the financial implications, let me do family planning. Take 2 years to do family planning. Then the two of us can now build financial stability. But if you say we should go and build financial stability, I may not know what will happen. I can go behind you. Fire Rose, fire Grace, fire Echan, and add Memuna to top. And that will destroy the whole beauty of our relationship because we have left the thing fallow. Yeah, we can deceive ourselves that nothing will happen. We are very strong. By the special grace of God, sometimes it is even the girls that will go and cheat. They cheat. This your girl, don't trust them. They cheat a lot. You can't catch them. And that's how they will leave the guy. So to me, I don't think we should relegate marriage to the background. Marry early. And the church must also advocate for early marriage. Did I answer? So let me ask this question somebody just put here. He's talking about how, let me read it. The person, how can married Gen Zs do away with their digital devices and spend quality time together during their leisure hours? Shed some light on financial discipline in Gen Z marriages. Okay. Well, let me talk about me. Then I'll hand over to Pastor Michael, who is married. Thank God. Like I said, we've all been there, whether Gen Zs or what have you, even our generation. Now, I talked about mine case. I'm not going to marry for you. That's why I don't do marriage seminar. You know something? Because my ideas are only for me. It may be controversial for you and your pastor, whose heaven is different from the one I'm attending or something. So I talk my mind the way I want. If you like, take. If you don't like, you don't take. I married to suit me. Number one, I came on Facebook as late as 2011. It was even Bishop or somebody like, I'm sure somebody even opened one of you here may have opened instant grammar for me. This is me. I didn't know social media whatsoever. I had a mobile phone when I was third year in the university. Siemens with 3 rubber bands around it. My first time of getting Bishop, can you believe that I started KLF, my church, and the church members have Android phones. And the pastor, I had only Nokia 3310. Sometimes I will cry. These people, they don't even, they didn't, 2 phones, Bishop. That I said, God, why? Me too, I can't go and tell the guy that God says you should give me 1 phone. In the church. And people had 2 phones, mobile phone. Me, my kind of pastoring, only God knows when we get to heaven. 3 phones, 4 phones. The guy will see that the pastor is using yam. Maybe God was protecting me. So I'm not a social media type. So by the grace of God, I'm dating you. You are the social media type. I'm talking about me. God is my witness. I don't have intestines for you. You are on your phone. And I tell you, put the phone aside. You're always on the phone. Me, I like chatting. I like playing. I always want to look at your face. I want to look into your eyes. You understand what I'm saying? You are chatting, doing things. I may not be able to tell you. I tell you 1, I tell you 2, I tell you 3. The 4th time, by the grace of God, you wake up knowing you dated a ghost. Listen, 5 years, you will never even see me pass the back of your door. The relationship is over. I'm not recommending it for somebody. That is me.
So but people who are doing it right now. What do
so me, I don't. I'm just saying my own. So I married a woman who even, in fact, can wake up and doesn't know where her phone is. I like it like that. My wife wake up and doesn't know where her phone is. We start looking at her. Where is it? 3 days. Nobody comes online. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't come online. I'm just you see. In fact, she can live 2 years without even coming online. I like it because I'm very proactive. I like to talk. I always preach 50 messages to my wife before I go to the altar. I preach and preach. The one she will nod her head and say, okay, this one is good. I'll preach this one. You can't be looking on phone. So I don't think I have any advice for anybody who is married to a woman because I'm not married to one like that. But all I can tell you is that you got to stamp your feet on ground. This is me for you. You got to stamp your feet on ground. You have to draw boundaries. And some people don't know. Women naturally like control. If you allow all this poultry farm behavior in marriage, pet names, babe, boobs, honey, she's increasing in control small. But are you get what I'm saying? And because by default they are like that, You may think that, oh, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. Before you realize you have become addicted to control. Now you say something you never. So if you are a man out there, you are the one. If you don't step your feet on ground, whatever you get, take. Then the person also asks about finances.
I think we answered that earlier.
I think I perceive the person may not like my answer, but that is the truth. Just take it like that. You have to show that girl that marriage is a contract between two people. We have to find a way to compromise. That internet thing is becoming too much. I have a friend who once told me the wife is always watching telenovelas on the phone. Well, I'm trying to process how the woman got there, because I'm putting it in my school. Me, where I am, I'm saying, this no nonsense person in telenovela. Oh my God, my God. What happened? You gave the person too much control. Bishop, how can you live with a woman? You don't do deliverance on her. Do deliverance. I mean, this is me. It's weird. That's why I don't talk about marriage. Because it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Before you realize the hand is coming on the get out! Out! You devil! Out of it!
Holy Ghost.
No, I can really make you pray, and I know deliberately I'm doing that as a punishment. 4 hours non-stop. Let's finish and come and do telenovela, Mako Zaki. You roll on the floor. The things you vomit. You vomit Korea series, you vomit Chinese series, you vomit. Because don't forget that the demon spirit also don't want marriages to work. So I know that there are evil spirits that want marriages not to work. So I'm taking the thing very personal. So that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I don't think it's good for you, but I can't lie. I just spoke the way I feel it.
Pastor Ben has said a lot. I would just say to the question that before you go into marriage, you must see the traits of the kind of person you want to spend the rest of your life. So if he's the kind of person that spends most of his time on phone or most of the time on phone, you maybe talk to the person, or if you feel that, well, you cannot handle it, you got to bounce.
Pastor Mike, what about if that's something just clicked to me? What about if the person also spending time on phone is a way of bringing money in?
So that's why I said, you need to know. You need to know, like, ask, do you work online? Are you someone that, like, you should always be with your phone? It's a leisure time, like the question said. When we got to that time, you need to at least have time for me.
Yeah.
So it's a yeah.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
So you see, when I in one of my submissions, I was saying I didn't like people who spend time on social media.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, you see, this question being asked: how can we put our phone aside and spend time with each other during our leisure? So I remember speaking to someone, and in our first 2 months talking, it was active conversation. After getting to understand her to a point, I'm like, okay, let me now get to know this person when she's not talking. And I realized that when you call her, she has Wi-Fi. So when you call her, she'll be going, then you hear her laugh. She's not talking to you. She will laugh, then she'll tell you what she saw. Then
that means she's not concentrating on the conversation.
She's looking at what she saw. Then we got to a point, I'm like, see, anytime there's a phone call, I realized we are not talking. And she told me that, like, this part is why I started to have a problem. She told me that I've already told you what happens in my day, so there's actually nothing to tell you again. So when you call me and you say I tell you I am fine, that is all. The rest of the conversation has happened in previous relationships. I continued again for a month. I didn't call her again.
Good boy. Give me five. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy.
2-3 months later, I received the text, how are you? I said, I'm fine. I leave the conversation.
Good.
The next week she comes, she's like, she wants the movie. I should send her the download link. I send it to her. And I told somebody that this person is texting me and it's getting annoying. Even though she's asking for normal movies, find the movie elsewhere. Because I gave you the movies because, like, we're having a chat, we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Even if the conversations were not aiming at maybe getting somewhere, like in a relationship or marriage, but it's a chat, like we are being friends.
Yeah.
You can't tell me to assume what is happening.
Yeah.
That's too much
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. So at this case, the brotherhood wants to tell you protect your mental health. Okay, sisters, what about you? Equally, we have guys who also spend a lot of time on social media. So what is your say on it?
So first of all, I'll talk about priorities. Right. Because if you are spending so much time on your phone, there could also be the fact that it is an addiction. It's something that you have been doing for the longest of time. And it could have been, for many reasons, it could be that right from childhood, you never had people to talk to.
Yeah.
You ended up being a social media person because that is where you get to interact with people.
Yeah.
Maybe your parents are not home, maybe you're an only child, or you've lived by yourself for a long time.
Yeah.
So maybe it is genuinely an addiction.
Yeah.
But then I believe that every stage in life is a learning stage.
Yeah.
Everywhere you find yourself, you're supposed to find ways and means to learn there.
Yeah.
And so if we are in a relationship, if we are together, and
Yeah.
now you should understand that you are not just for yourself.
Yeah.
In as much as you are for yourself, you are for me too, because we
Yeah.
are one, we are together.
Yeah.
And so you should be able to learn how to prioritize, learn how to section your time in such a way that, well, know that at this particular time you are spending time on social media, that's fine. But then when it's a me time, a me and you time, and you are on social media, unless it's an emergency, there's no excuse for it.
Okay, so I think the guy who asked the question is actually married, all right? So maybe it may be a genuine concern. For example, I am a pastor. Like I'm saying this, and I'm saying this with all sincerity. I love pastors. I reverence pastors. But I do not believe in the deity of pastors. So I really interrogate things. Forgive me for saying that. I mean, it's me. Forgive me for saying that. So, as much as God has called me, I prioritize marriage and home. I pray online. Today, I think I've been online praying with people, teaching. But the day I hear care in my body, all those of you online, you can go and find water and drink. It's a cup of tea. I just don't care. I'm being honest with you. Because I'm really trying. So that day, if I'm not going to come online, I have to spend time with my family, so be it. You can be on your own. You can go and join Alpha Hour. You can go and join Jerry's. You know what I'm saying? Whichever it is, just join. But for now, dear, I need time for me and my family. So what I do mostly with my wife and my kids, we drive out a lot. We hang out a lot. Because in the process of driving them around, my mind will not go to chatting or prophesying to somebody online. So sometimes we must also look at what are the social interactions, all right, with you and your wife. And let me be very honest with you. You may have to make sacrifices in marriage. You may have to make sacrifices in marriage. I had a problem with medical people, nurses, and doctors. Well, I went out with it to be like that. Then I realized that it will not really work. It will not work because of the time shift and all those kind. So no matter how much you give me, I know myself, I can't marry a medical doctor and I can't marry a nurse. So I tell my wife, you know what, stay away from everything nurse, stay away from everything medicine. She believes, and that becomes the foundation on which we started going out. So she had to let go doing anything medicine. I don't have the time for you to say you're going to pay attention to a patient. Me, I'm a patient. I was born a patient. What I'm suffering is hunger. I'm suffering from hunger. So this is me. I'm talking about me. All right. So you realize that it will work for me because I've designed it in such a way that it has to work for me. I can leave everything to have time with my family. Maybe your wife is in a situation that takes her often online. You may have to let go that thing if you think that she being online every time. Maybe you, the husband, you are not always around. She's also not always around because of work. And the only thing that will be left is to be watching movies or whatever. At a point, if it's becoming a problem, there has to be compromises. Pastor Mike, are you getting what I'm saying? There have to be sacrifice, because at the end of the day, when we get marriage wrong, we will affect another generation. And maybe now they've ended with Z. I don't know
So
where
there's
they will
more
enter.
alpha and beta.
They will go to the mathematical variables, theta, alpha, generation, trigonometry. So
Lady Ora,
that's
please,
it.
let's take the last question, or maybe last two questions. That was it.
So,
okay.
but those of you there, aren't you following up on any questions some people are giving? Because I also got only one question.
Is
The
this,
only question that came after was
I also have a question. What Pastor Ben was
okay, you let lady.
Okay, I have a question here from one lady. Say, please, I want to know if prayers and the word of God aid in changing the attitudes of this generation era. If yes, how? And if no, then what can help in changing our attitudinal state of being? I think absolutely the word of God really helps. You know what I mean? In fact, it's education. But Pastor Mike, you don't know, a lot of Christians don't see their approach to the word of God as education. You know what I'm saying? They are looking for the one that will give them visa to America. I think that's where the problem is. So God has become secondary to a lot of generation. You understand what I'm saying? And I have a lot to say about it, especially in Ghana here. Is that bad because of this whole prophetic thing? And in the Bible, in the New Testament, prophets were not meant to have churches. It is never designed like that. And that's where the problem is coming from. A prophet is not supposed to have a church. Because the establishment of a church, number one, evangelists go to pioneer, apostles come to confirm, pastors go to take over. So having a church is a work of a pastor. Prophets only come in to impact. So prophets are not supposed to stay at one place. That is why we are having problem with the prophetic in Ghana here. Prophetic text talks about interpreting the mood of God in translating his will. So prophets are very emotional. If you stay with people, you destroy them. You can go and check it. If you stay with people, you destroy them. How can a prophet have a church? He has to recalibrate and be trained to become a pastor. Pastor is the only thing that nobody was born. Everybody was trained. You have to be trained to be a pastor, even though it's part of the fivefold ministry. So what we are having right now, a lot of prophets are leading people on mood swings. The people are not coming to church. Oh, I need to do operation visa. It's a mood swing. So they raise a lot of Ghanaian Christians who have become transactional with God. I mean, I came to TKU house at Adenta and I saw people writing exams and they were sitting in the sun. I was like, God, this is the church. This is the church. People are writing exams. This is how a church is supposed to be. So the approach to the word of God is the same model we see in Legon. One time I was talking to someone, I said, Pastor, I'm doing my project work. I said, which university? Oh, no, church. I said, hey. This is how it is. But it's not common in a lot of Ghanaian churches. I grew up in a church where we write exams, we study, we do things. Right now, if you say you are going to write exams, you see people's knowledge based on the word of God. They think that it's a weird thing. Why? Because they've been growing up with the prophetic churches. If not so, trust me, nothing can change this generation. Like Pastor Mike, as we speak, try interacting with any of the Gen Zs in TKU. They are not Gen Zs. Their way of thinking is so different. Massively different. So as much as we are talking like that, you realize that the answers they give, it doesn't sound like Gen Zs at all. What has happened? The word of God. It has changed their perspective. You come to TKU and every young man is called sir. You know what that means? You are setting the tone for beautiful marriage. Because you'll be married to your husband and you're calling your husband what? Sir, so and so. So already you see your husband as a teacher, as a tutor. And it's good. Where do you get it from? God's word. So I think that it is the only requirement to transform the mindset of Generation Z.
I think Lady Naomi wanted to say something shortly, and then
pertaining to spending more time on your device, like Pastor Ben would say, let's go back to Genesis. It says that a man shall leave his parents and cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So, in that notion, there is, like Lady Hora was saying, there has to be priorities. You are married. There is, I don't get why you can spend more time on your phone than with your wife. It does not make sense. For people to become one flesh.
And I mean, they would want you to speak louder.
Okay, sorry. For people to become one flesh, there has to be a fellowship. You have to be fellowshipping. So
Yeah.
you can't spend more time with your phones and claim you are married. Maybe you are married to your phone, not your wife.
Sweetheart, can I tell you something?
Or your husband.
Sweetheart, can I tell you something? Now, but if God will surely help me, Pastor Mike, I want to write a book on the science of fornication and sexual sin. I believe that we have not done good justice to that word, to that teaching. We have labeled that doctrine as God is angry with us that you are fornicating and committing adultery. But by the grace of God, the last time I checked, it was not God's mouth somebody used to go and kiss somebody. So I don't see how it is now paining God or affecting God. Nobody has used God's penis to do anything. Why are you like, you don't want to hear this? The word is penis. Penis is penis. So how do you say it? Bishop, I just realized that you fornicate, you commit adultery, the consequences are yours. So having to evaluate the grievous consequences, nobody needs to advise you, advise yourself. All right. For instance, I'm very crazy about my wife, and I can say it. Why I am crazy about my wife
On period.
is all because she is just a female version of me. There are times where I can just talk unnecessarily, and there are times where my wife can talk unnecessarily. We are all watching movie. You are asking me what will happen in the next movie. You are asking me why is the girl running? Do I know before? And do you know why it irritates me? Because it's just reflecting who exactly I am in my own way, where I can ask some questions. That's because I want to be chatty. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So it helps because I feel like we have a lot of topics to talk about. We wake up always comparing each person's dreams. Sometimes the dreams don't even make sense, but you just have to listen because it's a practice. All right. And I love my wife because I had the option of making errors in relationship. So I'm coming from almost wrecked by relationship into what I feel is far better than what I used to know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Far better than what I used to know. So this one works for me. This is the consequences here. What premarital sex does is that it does not give you room for investigating compatibility. So you realize that by biological programming, because of the way you feel towards the lady, there are some adrenalines and some hormones. They are the only thing that is holding you to the girl. There's no compatibility established on social likings, religious beliefs. So why you would want to push this into marriage, not even having to study that compatibility traits, is because, Charlie, the girl, they make me crazy, man. The way when she's holding, I just be shouting like, "Dog, wait!" You will soon be caged by the grace of God. You will be caged in life, because when you realize that once you have entered and the sex is no longer there, and that also brings to another fact that I'm in a relationship with you, we are having sex, we are not married. Nobody wants to be shamed, especially when you take seed. So we have to automatically then translate it into marriage. But we realize that we never saw our compatibility level. So we are in the marriage, we are dead trapped in the marriage. So who does fornication affect? I don't remember God calling me that he has gotten gonorrhea. No. God has not gotten because it is not God's penis. So who? You. So in this case, if I am preaching to you about consequences of fornication, I don't need to go and quote law. I don't need to go and scare you. I just have to scientifically prove it to you. So you know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you know. So premarital sex can make you, and that's why we'll talk about it another time. That's why it is one of the powerful weapons of witchcraft. Because if a girl knows your destiny, or a guy knows your destiny, and wants to destroy your destiny fast, okay, he makes sure that the relationship is nothing but sex. You can't think. And nobody is in his right senses in that period of sex. You can't think. So, I mean, it is for all of us to think about. Bishop.
Yes, sir.
I also have a question. Somebody has a question.
I was just going through the chat section. It's actually very interesting what's going on there.
It's you.
And a major issue is that it looks like women want to be the focus of every relationship. And is that true or false?
What?
And that women seem to be wanting to be the focus of every relationship. And is that true or false? And that seems to be like the conversation.
So
going
the
on
relationship,
there.
They want to be the focus.
For example, so there's an example here. Men will buy expensive things for women on their birthdays.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the men, it's just a boxer and thing like that. The woman will give to the man. So, like an example like that, it looks like they want to be the central focus of the relationship. Like every attention, every gifting, every, drop everything for them, sacrifice everything for them. So the question is always, okay, what have we men? Well,
okay, what about you?
So lastly, I want to take that from everybody and we close.
Okay, let me give my own,
yes,
then we close. Marriage is all the platform of testing your pre-existing understanding of life. If it works for you, that means that your knowledge about life is solid. If it doesn't work for you, that means that you did not acquire enough knowledge.
So can you take the definition again?
It is a platform of testing your pre-existing understanding about life. So marriage is actually an exams room. That's why you never stop learning. It takes 4 years to become a midwife, but it takes forever years to become a main wife. So what am I trying to tell you? I don't care about you. Whether you are dating Ruth, whether you are dating Naomi, that's none of my business. As I am here right now, from where I started growing up, all I think about is how it will work for me. Have you ever seen me do marriage seminar or whatever? I don't have time. I've not even finished. It has not finished where I've not finished with my. I'm coming to do with you. I don't have time like that. In other words, just as I don't have time, you too don't have time. Focus on yourself. How will it work for you? Stop reading nonsense on social media. Is it everything you have to? Must you listen to everything? So me, I only listen to the part of marriage that talks about how to be 70 years and still be kissing. So that's why, as I'm here right now, you can see the way I am right now. When we are done, you go and eat quality food. I still want to kiss at 90. That's right. Because my wife is beautiful. If I don't maintain the stamina, I'm saying I can't lose the battle by the grace of God. So listen, I'm only doing what will work. I can't lose it. I'm only doing what will work for me. So when I went to university, I didn't have girlfriend. Why? Because I don't even know who I am. I'm not going to carry you who looks like home econs. No. No, let me focus on my life that looks like general. We are already talking. Can't you say I'm talking like that? General students. So secondary school, I don't care about you. I really have my own complexes. I don't really understand myself. I'm dealing with things that I was not supposed to deal with. Do you know what it means to be carrying load at the age of 5? Child labor. I've not finished dealing with those excesses. I'm coming to look at your buttocks. Why? What is there? Is it Bank of Ghana? So I finished university. I felt I got to a point where I have a better understanding of myself and a better understanding of how I want life to go. All right. So you see the question you ask. Women want to have what have you. Focus, and that's by the grace of God. That's your own. As I am here right now with my wife and this thing. No gift, no. If you like, we'll buy gift. If you like, we'll not buy gift.
So you see, right? The question you answer like
it's our matter. No, it's my matter. it's my personal matter.
So yes, you're leaving us alone.
No, you need to work what you give for you.
That's it to me. That's it. It's on our
Bishop, do you know how I have to beg to eat in common auto? Then I come to have girlfriend. What am I coming to do for you? I was a complete mess. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm coming from insecurities. I'm coming from something. So if you are also there having the same problem. Are we on? Okay. Are we on? So Bishop, are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes,
now the statements I'm making, they are very hard statements. And like I said, if you don't know me as Pastor Ben, I am not your regular pastor. I'm not a regular pastor. So I talk as much as I want to talk. I'm saying that what I'm saying, you are not obliged to take everything.
Yeah.
Take what will suit you.
Yeah.
Don't get say, oh, pastor, and some of you, I'm so giving disclaimer here. Some of you young people, you see us as deities. So everything we say, no, you want to take everything. Me, I'm telling you what works for me. Better take some and leave some. Don't get say, oh, pastor, the last time you said it, so I just said that's what, brother, take what will work for you. I need to build a strong economy. So my wife there, we are making huge sacrifices. Can I tell you something? And it may sound sad to many of you. For the past 5 years of my life, because of this thing, I went to buy this dress. Because of this shoe, I went to the mall and bought this one and bought this trouser. It didn't cost. It just didn't cost. But why do I have to do so? Am I being stingy? No. I have a contract that I must execute. By the time I'm done with the contract, that contract can actually secure my family and my children for the next 15 years. For the next 15 years, I must muzzle every single money. My father left me nothing except debt. I bought the coffin myself. I'm talking about me. I don't have any theory for you. If you like, listen. If you don't like, you can go home. He bought nothing. I bought the coffin. I built where my father died for guests to come and live there. He left me nothing. So I'm not here to come and live on social definitions of people. If you want to dominate and you want to buy yourself, you want to go and buy yourself house on the birthday, just buy yourself. as far as I'm concerned right now, we are building strong economy.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? And the priority is the children have to have the best. I shop for my kids every time as they ought to. I went to the mall, they had the best. For 5 solid years of my life, I look at myself in the mirror and I thought about, hey, if I'm coming on the show, what will I buy? I even have to ask permission and take some of the money I was shopping for the kids to buy this and buy that for them. Because my parents made me wear rags. They will cut your father's trouser into knicker, then you wear. Then when you grow, they cut it further into boxer shorts for your brother. So understand where I am coming from. So my understanding now is that we are building an economy. My wife understands it. So we will use moderate phones, but we need to have strong business empire because that will make you enjoy marriage. I can't let my wife be going to an office and a boss. I don't have the stomach for that. It's me. I can't let a filthy boss with his filthy hands be shaking my precious body I enjoy in the night in the name of how are you, those kind. So I will pay the price and make sure that I do what it needs to do as a businessman so my wife can stay home for me. So I think that take what you want to take and the rest of it, leave it on Elon Musk's social media.
Yes, sir. Pastor, 1 minute.
So, shortly, just say, pick what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what works for me might not work for you. So, marriage is all about sacrifice. There are things, it's all about future. So, pick what works for you and live life.
Of course, do the word of God. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lady Aurora.
I'll end with this that at the end of the day, it's about being able to give and you always receive. And you talking about women wanting to be the center in the relationship, I believe that if
Louder.
okay, I believe that if you have a partner and the happiness of your partner matters to you, it wouldn't be about who is the focus of the relationship because if it is you and I am concerned about what makes you happy, we are also concerned about what makes me happy. At the end of the day, we are meeting someone. And so you are making me happy because, I mean, my happiness is your happiness. If everything that you are doing is making me happy, everything I'm doing is making you happy, I don't think we have to without both of us equally important to you.
Right. Secretary.
Essentially, what Pastor Ben also spoke about, my question was similar to your question.
Okay.
Women wanting, not even that attention, but they want to be like
The focus.
in the relationship. And like, essentially, it's what works for you. Because if we are all going to look without, that is like look around us to define how things should be for us. Are we being happy for the things around us? Or the things that are really nice? Are we living for ourselves or the things around us? So you really ought to understand who you are as an individual and how you react to things and be able to find that person that will help you cause more impact on what you're going to react to and you can make it in wherever you're going to.
Right. You know me. Lastly.
So what I want to say is that a lot of times when these things are taken, when you get to the root of the situation, it's not even about the gifts, it's about pressure. It's about what's going on social media, what the woman is seeing. I've seen that Mr. Safo has bought his wife
G-Wagon. Yeah.
for giving birth.
Yeah.
So you have to buy visa. I'll say that experience is not the best teacher. Jesus is.
Yeah.
And don't let the world teach you. Let the word of God teach you.
Yeah.
It's not about what everybody is doing. Like, as Pastor Ben and all others have said, pick what works for you.
And so the person saying that that's what works for him. Or here.
That's what?
That's buy G-Wagon.
That's to buy you what?
Mercedes Benz.
So you should look for the man that can do that. Bishop, can I share an experience? Just 2 minutes, in fact 1 minute. So there was a lady that used to be somebody that talk a lot. And you remember we were talking about the thing about communication. I want to share this thing with Gen Zs so that you understand. By the grace of God, I have hit some age. You understand? And I've realized that life is different when you get there. There's an age that when you get there, what you want is intellectual compatibility. Talking, sharing ideas. All right? So like I said, Pastor Mike is married. We share some common ideas, and it's good. I love Pastor Mike because I see somebody that, you know, there's a way that where somebody can be admired by you, may not necessarily say it, but you can see that the person admires you and the thing is working for him. All right? I am a go-getter. If you're around me, I don't pamper people. That's me for you. So I don't believe in all this, I want a man that to pamper me. It is not true. There's nothing like that. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. When I checked the book of Genesis, I saw that even though the garden was comfortable, God told them to work. So achieving goals is a lot of work. Thinking is a lot of work. So I don't believe in we are in this relationship to pamper. It is not true. Every child of mine must rule the world for Jesus. And it's a lot of work monitoring their psychological pattern, studying them, and I'm going to get stuck to this thing, only God knows, for 25 years. I don't have time for pampering. We better get serious here. So if you're around me and you're not a go-getter, I mean, that's you for you. So this girl comes, and then you are around me, you are talking, and I was talking about talking. Men get to a point that they can even pay you just to have an intellectual compatibility with you. That's why if you are a Gen Z and you are flocking with people that are older than you, be wise enough to know how to maintain information. Not everybody wants to sleep with you. So get the hell out of that illusion. Even you, if you are a man, will you sleep with yourself? Better ask yourself simple questions. Stop thinking that every man that comes into my life, they just want to have sex and run away. Will you sleep with yourself like that? So better be serious. What is it about you? Are you carrying a golden buttocks or what? Stop this fallacy thinking and get serious.
Spirit
when
of
people
God.
come into your life, act wisely as a child of God. There are bosses that will have serious mental health issues. They just want somebody to talk to and feel free. And I'm telling you, at that point, it's a capital. Because in business, capital mobilization, friends and family. Because this person feels that I have an intellectual connection with you. When you need money, they can easily give it to you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. There are men that they can easily fall in love because of how they talk with you. So this lady comes, we talk all right. It got to a point, we say relationship. Bishop, can you believe my national service allowance? This girl made us go to. You see, I've not recovered. I still talk about. I think I've told you. We use it to eat tilapia. 350 Ghana cedis. You did tilapia, but good tilapia. It is paining me because that was huge capital. Knowing where I'm coming from, that my mother could cook with 5 Ghana cedis. What my detective 350 in the name of Jinwago? What do you with tilapia? Okay, tilapia. So at the end of the day, you see, it is paining me still. Of course, I've let it go. But this is me. My priority is let's build a strong economy and let's raise children. Because when I saw, I'm not here to make Jesus look like the guy was suffering when he was born. He did not suffer. He only suffered on the cross. Let's leave it like that. When he was born, gifts were given to him. So look at me. When I give birth, naming ceremony of my children, I do it in a grand style. My own birthday, I may forget. I was not given that privilege. Let me give it to my children. And I'm hoping that maybe my children can marry as early as 19. Latest 22, every daughter of mine should marry. And I also believe that if my daughter is 19 years old, I expect her to bring a man home. And I'm so much open. Bring a man home. I want to build you and the man together. 22, marry. After all, I'll part you with maybe $5 million and a house. So I don't know why you and the man, you are saying you are going to suffer and get what I've suffered the suffering. Are you getting my point? So please, let's be serious with this marriage thing. God bless you.
Right. It's been a powerful session, everybody. And It's on period. I mean, that's it. That's what I can say. And I mean, I would that just a minute. I mean, share your favorite quote. You know, something, not the funny ones. I'm talking about what you learned today. All right, like, yes, I want to see you guys say something, like something powerful you learned today. Just a word or two, one sentence or two sentences. I want to read it out. So just do that for me. Something great to learn today. Something great to learn today. You people have been saying a lot. Right now, I want to hear the good stuff. All right, give me the good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm actually in my Gen Z era, so please, I'm the headmaster. All right. So please, right? Okay. So somebody says marriage is a platform for testing your pre-existing knowledge about life. Honestly, that's my best quote for today. That was my best quote for today. God bless you. Take ID Nation. I don't know who you are, but I think I know who you are, but I don't know who you are. Yes. Next, please, let's leave Lady Thelma alone. I want you to tell me something good. Okay. It's about our economy and the children. Okay, marriage is about the economy, our economy and the children, right?
What is it? That's what I don't want the extra daughter. I want the family.
Please, I want to hear quotes.
Somebody said, I love my wife because she's a female version
of
myself. I think that is also powerful.
That's very great. Yes. In marriage, we have to learn to build a strong economy. That's great. That's another powerful quote for today, from today. Sir Michael.
Bishop, about the economy statement. In marriage, you have to learn to build a strong economy. Your home might not be economy. It could be anything else.
But the definition of economy just talk about economic is a way of life, like how people. So it's still economy.
Okay.
Living together, managing things. That's the definition of economics.
Okay.
It studies the human behavior.
Yeah.
You know.
Everything about money.
All right. Experience is not the best teacher. Jesus is.
Yeah, that's
awesome. I'm doing what works for me. What's my business about someone's house? Yeah, right. Thinking more about the children and their mental health, right? Go with what works for you and not what works for others. That's awesome. Not everybody wants to sleep with you, of course.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. My children must rule the world for Jesus.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I would want us to end with that quote. Yeah. And that's very awesome. I guess today has been a very, very great tutelage time for every one of us about the things of marriage, the things of our generation, and what's awaiting us. I believe these sort of lessons make us mature, or make you to think, like Pastor was saying, it's a form of education that fits you and make you ready for life, right? These are things we never hear in churches. Yeah. These are things we never hear in homes. Even in society, we don't hear about these things. But here, KLF Regalia meeting, you hear all these awesome things. Because, hey, we are here for the world, KLF, Kingdom Legacy Fellowship, and of course, the King's Union, Regalia Church. Every one of the namings in here, you could see clearly the mentality. We are thinking about the world. So, what we want to do for marriage is the same thing. We want to build an economy in our homes and extend it to the world.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
let us really think very big about these things and not marry because of feelings and all. But hey, it still stands. Do what makes you feel good. All right. Marry what makes you excited. But these are blocks I believe we should add to what we are doing, and I believe we're going to go so far. All right. It's been an awesome time with you. I've been your host. King Charisma Eben on period.
I love that.
And we'll meet again for our next single chat session. The third, isn't it? Yes. Sooner than you expect. I want you to have a great night, everybody. Jesus has prayed for us all. We will not pray again.
That's right. That's right.
So enjoy your night, everybody. And hey, if you still have questions to ask, don't bother to send them. I said it right? Yeah. So I didn't say it right, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So don't hesitate. Yes, I think I should say it that way. Yeah. So send your questions. Just we'll always be there for you. We'll always be there to help you. You can send the questions. I'll forward them to Pastor, or you can send it to any of your leaders. He'll send it to me. I'll send it to him. If he would tell me to answer it, I'll also answer it. Don't worry. That's also there. So, Pastor Mike is an awesome man of God. I think we've all heard him sing in church, and we've seen his level of service, and I really love his level of service. And Pastor is always talking about him when it comes to me. So I love Pastor Ben. I think we all love Pastor Mike so much for his service and his level of service. I hardly see people really ready to serve Pastor, and he's one of the people we look up to when it comes to service. And so we love Pastor Mike so much. God bless you, Pastor Mike. And hey, God bless you, Sekata. God bless you, Lady Naomi, Lady Hora. God bless you so much. And God bless me too. Yeah. And God bless all the media people, Sir Ravi, everybody who came to make this a success. And all the people who came, spectators. Shout out to Sir Brian and one Memshak at the back there. Yeah, and everybody, all the Beth workers, God bless you. KLF staff, everybody, we respect you, we salute you all. And all the pastors in all the 2 churches, we salute you all. We'll meet again, and it's been a family time, and we've loved this, and we want to have this again. Let me not talk so much. Have a great night, everybody. Shalom.
Yeah. So when Jesus comes and then we ball it, defeats the devil, then we ball it, defeats the devil, then we ball it, we ball it. When Jesus comes and then we ball it, defeats the devil, then we ball it, defeats the devil, then we ball it. Yeah, we got it, we're pumping with daddy. We gotta see what the prophet that we got from his dying. Yeah, we call it bus winning all my start taking on. Yeah, you don't mess with that. Oh, come along, your soul, come along, gotta come along. You too with them all, do it all, some along. Go to his promise. We call it, yeah. Sing it, feel it, honey, sing it, come on, we go, we walk, yeah. We call it, we got the spirit that we call it, we got the promise that we call it, we call it, we got the blessings that we balling, we got the victories that we balling, when Jesus come then we balling, 2, 1, 2, come along, 1, 2, spit the fire, 1, 2, with them all, with the fire, with the Lord, so them Lord, with the salt, we go with the cross, C4, we blow, we go, best they know, they'll fall. We go, that's it. We ball with the saints. Anyway, in the star, we storm. With the power, with the Lord. Whatever. We call it. We got the spirit and we call it. We got the promise and we call it. We call it. We got the blessings that we ball it. We got the victories that we ball it. When Jesus comes and then we balling, we balling, we balling, we got the spirit that we balling, we got the blessings that we balling, we got the victories that we balling. When Jesus comes and then we balling, we call it blessed, come along, blessed, we got it all, blessed, come along, blessed, we got the spirit, yeah, we balling, we got the blessings that we balling, we got the victories that we balling. When Jesus comes, then we balling. We call it blessed, come along, blessed, gonna do blessed, gonna do that blessed. We got the spirit, yeah, we balling, yeah. We got the blessings that we balling, yeah. We got the victories that we balling, yeah. We balling, yeah, we balling, yeah. We call it blessed, come along, blessed, gotta do blessed, gotta do that blessed. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. Now I can prophecy on me. Now I got victory on me. Now, but did I know? Now I wouldn't know. How then go get it? I blow their minds now. Everybody out there thinks I'm crazy. Floating on storms like it's wavy. So ahead of my time, I got memories tomorrow gave me. Give me my respect. You don't know me, you gotta fix that. Got a glory of 1,000. I to the tempo, you cannot beat that. Ooh, break that. I want it when I want it, I'ma get it when I want it, cause it paid that. Anybody could have said that? Two things for sure. One is I win, number two is I know. Death and hell gotta repel, or I can just your shows, better prepare for my grin. I get a win, I get it with the EC. I finna beat, I pinnacle, I mean, please. My genius inside in a bigger DT. I feast, I eat my victory. Sheesh. Tell them all. Pause, let me make a deposit, let me sever a soul and get back. Continue when I'm born in it, still I preach the gospel where they all I go in. Yeah, you know me, I move like a tsunami. I'm a winner, the kingdom pillar, man, I wear victory on me. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. Now I can prophecy on me. Now I got victory on me. Now, but did I know? Don't know how we feel alive to them guys still give me more. Put some respect in the name. My God still open doors when I hear the name. We call them boss. Jesus died, man, I'm dead gone. Optimum, see me transform, man, I'm airborne. Levitation, my stress gone. Yeah, man, I pull up in the Christ life. Jesus double tap, then I'm Christ like. I got God in my zone, so I'm that nice. See, we out for the soul, see, we outside. Love me or hate me, elevation, boy, man, I do it daily. Got the word on my back like a baby, don't hate me. My life is awesome, he made me. See me, I'm born with a passion. Your king just rise from the ashes. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. No, the devil's done, no. The people done, no. The family's done, no. Now I can prophecy on me. Now I got victory on me. Done, no. The people done, no. The family's done.